Smith and Jigba caught almost an identical game winner against Utah for Ohio State, too, a couple years ago. David, I don't know if you saw that, but the side-by-side was, like, crazy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Back half of the ball and everything?
Yep. Same angle. Same route.
I had a good game. It felt good. Oh, we're live. Damn.
Well, we go on the air here in 2 minutes, so I didn't know.
No, I understand. I just wanted to say something just for the three of us, but
Well, it'll have to wait till
I'll remind you.
I was thinking of Trent. Okay. I said, first off, I wonder if he's watching. And secondly, as the Seahawks are matriculating the ball to my midfield, I'm like, well, he did say at the end, I'm rooting for the Hawks, even though if they get stopped, the Lions are in. But
yeah, that was a unique situation last night as I was watching.
But you've got your sights set on, bigger things. I get it.
Yeah. If all hell broke loose,
well,
and they somehow lost out, I think 10-7 would still get them in the NFC, the Lions. So I wasn't too worried about. I'm not worried about making the playoffs. You got to keep the other factors alive. Although I will say my one brother was calling me crazy for that. He's like, dude, are you nuts? We want to clinch tonight. We're rooting for the Eagles.
The 2 seed. Trent's like, screw that, man. We're going to be the 3. I want to be the 2.
Playing the Rams, I don't care how it comes out.
God, I was telling everybody in the booth, I said, my 2 Michigan-based guys on the show, I go, my co-host is like, well, it's going to be so Lions. Stafford's going to come back and finally win a playoff game in Detroit. That is cold.
Rich.
Can you imagine the flip side, though?
It is.
It really, come on. You and I have a certain level of snark that fits it.
I'm not showing up the next day if that happens.
Yes, you are. Dressed head to toe as, in
your Stafford gear.
Yeah.
How about Western Kentucky?
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. After a heck of a Monday Night Football game, if you stayed up for it. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com, as we are 6 days away from the big fella showing up, giving some of you what it is you want, some of you what it is you need. And
the rest of you a lump of coal.
Yeah, and then a whole bunch of stuff that you'll re-gift or give away. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. How you doing?
I'm good. Got a nap in yesterday, watched some football last night, watched a little hockey last night. It's a good day.
When I bring up to the folks on the Monday Night Football crew about the nap, because for those that don't know, we do the show on Monday, either immediately after the show or an hour after the show. There's a production meeting for Monday Night Football. And people will, small talk and what have you. But now it's known that Mark and I do a show, and after the production meeting, I'm napping. And it's a power nap. It is a do not disturb nap. It could go from nap to sleep, in which it crosses over. It's gone a little too long. And they, Mark, all at first look at us who do a morning show, who need naps to get through the day and the week. And they look at us like we're a little weird. And then after time, they look at us with great jealousy because it is one of the 10 best things in the world.
And it's not an age thing because I worked in minor pro hockey for a long time. And as a broadcaster and the players as well, pregame skates 11 a.m. for the road team. I don't think that's changed. I think I could go to any arena in the country and the visiting team's going to have their pregame skate at 11. Home team skates at 10, visiting team skates at 11. Then you go to the hotel, you have the meal, and then you take a nap. And I did that for 15 years as a broadcaster. Then I had to do the sales gig where naps, David, they're frowned upon.
They really are.
They didn't
They really
always
are.
know I was taking one, but they
Right.
are frowned upon if it is known that you are taking a nap.
Unless, of course, you've met your quota for the month, at which point you can do whatever the heck you want. You could nap in the sales manager's office if you're at 100+%.
It's a dadgum good point. But the nap is making a return in my life, and I'm better off for it. I'm able to see 11 o'clock at night. It's hard for me to do otherwise.
Trent, have you, or is it too early and you're too young? Have you gotten to the point yet where you're like,
Oh, we've been there. Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
In college, it was in between classes. Now it's definitely after the show.
Okay.
I'm with you
Good to
guys.
know. All right. Good to know.
And you know what the thing is? You can tell Trent's been successful in his ability to take a nap is that he doesn't fall asleep during our show like his
Right.
predecessor.
Right. A very rough adjustment for young Felipe.
I still don't know how he did that. 7 days a week he would work.
Well, it's because he slept during the show.
There was definitely a time, there's no doubt, in which we said, Felipe, you have got to nap. We would be like this too. We nap. All right. Once again, age, wisdom. Come on. So I'm glad, Trent, that you are already there. And I am curious, for those that don't know, didn't stay up and watch, Seattle rallied late. Very dramatic. Beat the Eagles. And so for the moment, Dallas in first in the NFC East. And now I have to admit, I don't know if both teams win out, who wins the East now, because they'd have the same division record and same conference record. Remember, Dallas just lost to Buffalo. Not an NFC loss. Philly just lost to Seattle. That was Philly's edge. They would have had a better conference record by a game. Now, both teams win out. I don't know who owns the tiebreaker. It's probably common opponents, something like that, fourth, fifth tiebreaker. Now, I will say, Dallas is remaining schedule at Miami, home for Detroit, and then, Washington. But Philly's got the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants. I mean, you'd much rather be the Eagles this morning. But, technically this morning, Dallas is the 2 seed and Philly is the 5.
And for Eagles fans in Florida, that means there's a good chance that you'll see them play Tampa Bay.
That's if they end up the 5. Still a better chance for them to end up the 2. At which point they would get the Lions in the second round, theoretically. But that's what I was thinking about, Mark. Okay, the impact of not just you. You know the impact you have on my life. Okay, but of young Trent here. Okay, as Seattle is driving. And I'm like, well, this is the ultimate test. We asked him, a Seattle loss, the Lions are in the playoffs, but a Seattle win, and you can start to get greedy as to the Lions seeding. So Trent, as Drew Lock was matriculating the ball down the field, who were you rooting for?
The Seahawks. I'm confident. For the first time in my life as a Lions fan, I am confident. And I'm not talking about just every year I come in, hair on fire, slappy. I think we're winning the division. I am confident for the first time in my entire life.
Cute. It's so cute because I'm just thinking about the text he sent mid first quarter of the Lions in Denver.
Thank you. Thank you. Remember, the Lions, the week before, they lost, and they were shut out in the second half. And Miller and Moulton received a text from young Trent at the end of the first quarter. Mark, what did it say?
So, ... Lions are driving, but makes that 3 straight scoreless quarters for the team.
And it was. But with new
Right.
information, after that, they looked great.
Right. Just a total pack. Scoreless at the end of the first quarter. They're driving. He's sending out a text. Oh, my God. 3 scoreless quarters in a row. What are we going to do?
It's all right. After the I was right there with him watching the game. I have to be brutally honest. Watching the Lions first quarter, I went, oh, they're going to lose this game. But I have 50 years of history of watching them do this. I have no other thought process in my head other than how can they figure out a way to screw this up? And now they have everything in front of them to be a 2 seed.
So there you have it. But a little drama last night.
Yeah, good game.
You had one team that was hungry, but you had one team that was desperate. I mean, Seattle's probably not making the postseason if they lose last night. I know mathematically they would have fallen to 6-8. They could win out 9-8 in the NFC. You know, might have a better than 50% chance getting in at 9-8. Although remember, they got swept by the Rams, so they'll finish behind the Rams if they're both 9-8. And the first thing you got to do when you get the multiple team tiebreakers is you got to figure out where you are in your division. So it would have been a monstrous loss for Seattle last night, 5th in a row. But Drew Lock, Troy Aikman said when the drive started, probably the biggest drive of his life.
And he delivers. Otherwise, he'd be an afterthought. He and they would be an afterthought this morning without that drive. What, 92 yards?
92 yards. As Joe Buck said, it's 1st and 92 for the Seahawks. And don't know how many of you saw it. And you may have stayed up for the game, but as soon as, Seattle knelt down on the final play to seal the deal, you may have turned it off. It's late. You're going to bed. If you get a chance, it's out there. Twitter/X and other places. Lisa Salter's 2-minute and 20-second interview with Drew Lock afterwards. It's pretty good television.
Phenomenal.
It really is. She's an Emmy Award-winning reporter for a reason. And Mark, you and I asked for 6 seconds of truth. And between the emotion in his face, the emotion in his voice, and what he said, we got 2 minutes and 20 seconds of it last night. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Part of why we love sports so much. How important it is, and yet in the grand scheme of things, it's not really important, but at the time, it could be everything. The beautiful dichotomy that was sports on display last night. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a journey. And Drew Lock does too.
You know what amazes me is how there's not much difference between the Drew Locks and the Mitchell Trubiskys of the world. And how one can take the moment and seize the moment, and the other one looks lost. And in practice, David, if they're both sitting there in shorts and in helmets, they can both make the throws. And what happens inside a guy's head that can either end him or make him. And that's what impressed me, about some of these second stringers doing what they're doing.
And Locke even hints at it in the interview, in which he's like, it had been so long since I had played. He didn't take a snap all of last year. He didn't take a snap the first half of this year. I took a few in a Giants game in relief. He had like a series for Geno Smith. But then last week and now this week, he gets to start. And he talked about it, can I still do this? Am I good enough? and all these guys are depending on me. And he was asked by Lisa, so when did you find out you were starting? He said, well, pretty much when I got to the stadium. That's it. He goes, I had it in my head all week I was going to play. He said, even though I wasn't taking first team reps, I had it in my head all week I was going to play. But so good stuff last night.
And a huge win for Seattle and mucks up at least some of the NFC playoff picture. David Samson will join us today on the show, and we will talk some college basketball with the great John Fanta as well. Thanks so much for listening right here, the Florida Sports Network, Miller and Moulton. Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay. So it looks as if both teams win out, it will come down to the fifth tiebreaker, strength of victory in all games, meaning the teams you beat, how many wins do they have, versus the teams they beat, how many wins do they have? And right now the Eagles have that by a noticeable margin.
So the Cowboys are going to be rooting for all the teams they beat to win.
Yeah.
Some games.
Well, but here's the other thing, though. You know, Dallas, you know, they've still got Detroit and Miami. I mean, two teams who are 20 wins. Where, like right now, the Eagles' opponents have won 71 games. The Giants have 5 wins, and Arizona's got 3.
Yeah.
So add 5, 5, and 3.
13.
That'd make 84 for the Eagles. The Cowboys' opponents have 53 wins.
But you've got
a chance for 20.
10, and Washington's got 4.
6. Oh, I was way off. That is
4.
Really interesting.
Okay, so now add 24 to that, and that's,
53 plus 24?
77.
Right. So the Eagles still have it 84-77.
So really, the Cowboys
Now
half
let's just say Dallas beats Miami, but Miami wins their last 2. That gets it to 79. Let's say Detroit beats the Vikings twice, but loses to Dallas. That gets it to 81. If Washington were to win its next 2 and then lose to Dallas, that gets it to 83. It doesn't look like Dallas can win the 5th tiebreaker.
Do you guys think it'll come down to that 5th tiebreaker, or do you think one of those teams loses another game?
Well, I think it's more likely Dallas is the harder schedule.
Yeah, but Philly 3 in a row.
Yeah, but San Francisco lost 3 in a row, and
Yeah.
now look at them. It's the Giants, Arizona, and the Giants.
It's
Philly
not
can't.
Washington. They own the Giants. They'll be just
And
fine.
own the Giants. They don't beat the Giants. They have just humiliated. That offensive line has toyed with the Giants for 3-4 years.
I just think it's interesting because either way, Philly is not looking good.
No.
And to be honest, they haven't looked good all year.
No. And
they just win games because they're a good team, obviously, and they grind it out. But they have not looked very impressive this year.
So ironic. I love the chess match. I'm not to goober you here, but so Matt Patricia decides in the 4th quarter he's going to take Bradbury to follow DK Metcalf. He's basically following him all over the field. And he's following him on that final drive, and DK catches a couple. And then they get to the touchdown play. And Bradbury's on their 3rd receiver on the right. He keeps Bradbury on his side, and he lines up against their number 3 wide receiver. And DK is in the slot, and he's on a safety. But there's also safety over the top for help. And so it's number 3 receiver against best corner. And Matt Patricia's getting all the blame. And Patricia's got to be thinking, well, I got my best guy on him. What the heck?
Do you guys remember his answer when someone asked him about his coaching in the 4th quarter? And he goes, no, I have one of the biggest plays in Super Bowl history on my side. And he's talking about the Malcolm Butler pick. He's taking credit for that. I can't even get started with that guy. Here we go. Sorry.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. David Samson is going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. John Fanta, we're going to talk college hoops with a guest for the first time this season.
I kind of look at this segment as like those books, College Basketball for Dummies. We'll let everybody in on the season. Some very simple, just to give you just a quick where we're at in the college hoop world as you're starting after Christmas and New Year's. You'll start getting into conference play and people are starting to watch, but they've had a really good start to their season. And college basketball always does because they have non-conference games of substance.
Do you think John will be offended if we go, John, the season's 5 weeks old. Most of the people listening haven't been paying attention. What have they missed?
No, because he brings so much energy.
I know.
He gets it. He understands.
He does. He lives it. He lives it. He's part of the field of 68 college basketball website, 68 teams in the tournament. The field of 68.com. I have to admit, if you like college basketball, well, you probably already know about it, but they cover college basketball every night, like the NFL Network covers the NFL. I'm just saying. They got a crew of guys around the country. They do live shows every night. It's pretty neat. It really is. So we looked it up during the break. And right now, Dallas is ahead of Philly. It's because Dallas has played and won one more division game than the Eagles. So the two teams have the same conference record, the same overall record. But when you look, Dallas is 4-1 in the NFC East. Philly's 3-1. So edge by a half a game, Cowboys. But we asked the question. So if both teams win out, who's going to win this tiebreaker? The answer is, barring the unforeseen, Philadelphia. If they both win out. And it would come down to the fifth tiebreaker. You don't normally get as far down as fifth tiebreaker in the NFL. Tiebreaker number 1, Mark, head-to-head. They split. Tiebreaker number 2, division record. If both teams win out, they'll each finish 5-1 in the division. Okay. Number 3, best one-loss percentage in common games. Remember, they're in the same division, so they play the AFC East and the NFC West. Both teams will have played 8 common games. If both teams win out, they will both finish 5-3, as it turns out, in those common games. Okay. Tiebreaker number 4, winning percentage in games played within the conference. They both would have the same conference record at 9-3. Mark, fifth tiebreaker, strength of victory. Now, first off, when I say strength of victory, what do you think of?
Point differential.
Okay.
That's when you say that to me is strength of victory. How many did they win by?
Well, it turns out strength of victory is, Mark, how many wins did the teams you beat have versus how many wins did the team I beat have?
Okay.
Right now, the Eagles have a significant advantage over the Cowboys. 18-win advantage. And that's because the Eagles beat the Chiefs. I mean, really, they beat some other teams, but right now the teams they've beaten have had a better record than Dallas. Now, what does Dallas have coming up? Miami, 10 wins. Detroit, 10 wins. And then Washington, 4 wins. So that's 24. The Eagles have the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants. That's 5, 3, and 5. That's 13. So that's 11 added to the Cowboys. The problem is Dallas is 18 wins behind the Eagles. And so you could even do the math. Let's just say Dallas beats Miami and then Miami wins out. Okay, that's add 2 more wins to Miami. That cuts the deficit from 7 to 5. We can keep doing this.
Detroit does the same thing, takes the 5-3.
And even Washington wins their next 2 games and then loses to Dallas. That cuts 3-1. There does not seem to be a mathematical way, if both teams win out, that the Eagles are not the NFC East champion, even if it is literally by 1 win in strength of victory.
And we have a lot of Eagles fans in our Twitch chat room who basically are just scolding you right now, saying, David, I don't know if we're going to win another game the way we're playing right now.
Exactly. Right. Empire 7. All right. The Eagles are a joke. I have no confidence in them anymore. Stop talking about winning out. I don't even know if they're going to beat Tommy Cutlets. Come on, guys.
Just take a deep breath. This is where you need to listen to Aaron from a couple of years ago. Eagles fan, relax.
I have to admit, because Eagles fans travel. I mean, there were a lot of Eagles fans.
Yes, there were. I mean, you could hear it. It was noticeable.
And usually Eagles fans are a little angry, a little hostile, a little bit when they lose. The Eagles fans walking out of the stadium last night were largely quiet. I think they're trying to wrap their arms around, okay, so is this just a little thing? The Niners.
I think it's a little shock. 92-yard drive in the closing minutes with the backup quarterback leading them down the field to beat your team. I think they walked out in shock and disbelief last night, David.
You might be right, Mark. You might be right. But they were very quiet. And there were Seahawks fans doing some talking. And Eagles fans were taking it last night on the streets. And you don't normally see that. I got to be honest with you. That's where you're likely to see, the scene from Eddie Murphy talking about going to a Rocky movie and afterwards what the parking lots are like. So the Niners went through a little 3-game stretch here. Buffalo
the Niners were banged. There were reasons behind, much bigger reasons behind the Niners 3-game skid than are behind this Eagles 3-game skid, David.
Okay.
And timing is everything.
I hear you. But, Buffalo an hour and a half ago was a mess. I mean, you got, come on. Once again, Tommy Cutlets twice in the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, you're going to win out.
I agree.
You're going to post 13-4. It's going to be fine. You're going to be the 2 seed. You're going to play, come on. A 9-8 NFC team. Come on. Bada bing, bada boom. Take care of business. What I'm curious about now is, we play this whole thing out, how the Eagles-Lions tiebreaker here. If the Lions win out, they're the same 13-4. I think same conference record also. And we're going to have to do the 3rd, 4th, and 5th tiebreaker there with the Lions and the Eagles.
No better man in the business for it than one David Moulton. He is so excited for the next commercial break to run through NFL tiebreakers, doing the work that you don't want to.
Normally, I'd say yes, but this is my most sleep-deprived show of the week.
It doesn't matter. Nothing gives you adrenaline quite like an NFL tiebreaker, David. I don't know how you'll be in the 8 o'clock hour, and damn it, I don't care.
I mean, I only got 2 more sodas left in the fridge, Mark.
Call room service. Figure it out. Maybe today's the day you break into coffee. I don't know, David.
Hey, front desk, you got any more $8 sodas? Yeah, can you bring 2 up, please?
I mean, after all, it is today's day you should try coffee. You're in Seattle, for crying out loud.
Oh, I know. Oh, man, in the press box, they had a little Starbucks. I mean, you get espressos. They had a little Starbucks center. Oh, the coffee people were going nuts. This is my favorite press box. No, I wasn't making fun of people or anything.
Miller and Moulton, 1 on coffee, 1 on $8 sodas. The 1 on the $8 sodas is going to give us the starting 5. It's next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA-certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton
on the Florida Sports Network.
Trent, are you ready?
No. Well, yeah, of course I am, but I'm nervous for what you're about to say.
Lions win out. They're the 2.
I think it's going to happen. I really
think
do.
Paul, they're using a search firm.
No, she's never been a university president before, and she has no experience working with an athletic department. So this is it. Yeah, they've narrowed it down to 4 search firms. They're going to interview them. They're going to pick one. The search firm's going to pick their next AD. I mean, you could say the search firm's going to narrow it down to 3 or 4 people, and then they'll pick them. But, you know.
What's a search firm make to hire an AD for an FGCU?
I think it makes
50?
like 50-ish.
All because someone doesn't know how to do their job. The search firm thing drives me nuts, David.
I will say this: Ken never used a search firm. He said he never used a search firm in his career.
Good.
Well, I mean, they never would have gotten Andy Enfield with a search firm.
You get who the search firm wants, and they don't want unknowns.
Not to go down this road for those that are listening who don't care or don't know about FGCU, but they just forced their longtime AD out after 14 plus years. And he has been in college athletics 40 years. And he knows a lot of people. Just ask him. And he will name drop all over the place. And he had to hire 6, 8 coaches during his stay at FGCU. And he knew every single person he hired, except his very first men's basketball coach. And the fact that he ended up hiring Andy Enfield, and it turned out the way it did with Dunk City and the Sweet 16 and all that, and that he hired a total stranger when Ken has spent the last 20 years of his career hiring nothing but people he knew. And the biggest hire of his career, he basically just went through the resumes, made phone calls, did his own diligence, and settled on Andy. Yeah, Sheikh Zula. I think you can get it. Maybe not for Christmas, but you can get it right after it. They forced him out because he had stayed too long. That his strengths were no longer what the department needed. They needed what ultimately were his weakness. The department needs money, and Ken can't raise it. So that's why that's partly why. There are a lot of other reasons, but that's in a nutshell. What they needed when they hired Ken, they don't need anymore. And so yeah, Paul, I'm pretty connected to that place, even though I'm no longer associated. Hell, I still get phone calls, even when I'm like, guys, I'm in Jacksonville.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, and that's when David Samson joins us. How about that? Try to work one of those in during the first hour. Much to Mark.
Whatever you got to do. Just trying to stay warm around here, David.
Especially, really. How cold is it? What do you got?
It is 53 degrees.
Wow, it's 46 in Seattle.
It's not much different, is it?
No. All right. Okay.
There's a full sock advisory in Southwest Florida today. And Trent's in shorts and a T-shirt looking at me like I'm nuts. Give it a year, kid. Give it a year.
Well, not only that, the booth he's in, I mean, 40-year-old equipment over there runs hot. So that room runs hot. I mean, it's not quite sauna, but it's close. Meanwhile, your room is as cold as it is outside.
It's close.
So the dichotomy between the two of you, and you're only separated by a plane of glass, but man, it might as well be two totally different existences. Miller and Moulton. It is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
I think I know what the play of the day is going to be. Seattle down 17-13, needed to go 92 yards with under 2 minutes to go. They had but one timeout. Heck, they didn't even need the timeout. They didn't need the full 2 minutes. 92 yards and about $1.25, bada bing, bada boom. And finally, Drew Lock to JSN, 29-yard touchdown. Nice throw. Nice catch. 2017 Seattle. Seahawks snap a 4-game skid. Eagles have lost 3 in a row. Jalen Hurts, 2 fourth-quarter interceptions. Strange game for the Eagles. They had 3 dominant drives. I mean, their 2 touchdown drives were both 15-plus plays, 75 yards, took over 8 minutes, both of them. Tremendous drives. It's like, what is Seattle even doing on the field? Most of the rest of the game, kind of discombobulated. All right. Means San Francisco's got a 1-game lead, and I think they own all the tiebreakers, considering, they beat Dallas and they beat Philly. But there's another team threatening the party. Because now at 10-4, you have Philly, you have Dallas, and you have Detroit. And as Mark Miller said, Mr. Goober himself, David Moulton, will look up during the break what the tiebreaker is, because we settled that if the Eagles and Cowboys both win out, the Eagles are going to win the tiebreaker by strength of victory.
The 5th tiebreaker, strength of victory, is what it comes down to.
Right. And no, it's not a weightlifting contest, but just trust us if you missed it. The Eagles are going to win the 5th tiebreaker against Dallas. Here's the problem, though, for the Eagles. Common opponents with the Lions. I think 3rd tiebreaker. Because they will have not played during the season, and for what it's worth, their conference record is the same if they both win out. Common opponents. They will have played 6 games against common opponents. The Lions will go 5-1 if they win out. The Eagles will go 4-2. That's right. That's right.
So the win against Dallas for Detroit, the split for the Eagles with Dallas, kind of the difference between the two as it all sorts itself out. If
Could
Detroit can get that done.
Could be.
Big if. Big if.
Just saying, to just absolutely make Trent useless for the rest of the show, we looked it up and found out that the Lions, if they win out, are the 2 seed. Mark, get ready to produce the rest of the show. He's going to daydream the whole rest of it.
Got such a smile on his face right now, you can't even imagine.
So for the moment, the Eagles would go to Tampa in the first round of the playoffs, which, it's funny. Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs the last 2 years. 2 years ago, they hosted Philly, and they whacked them. Last year, they hosted Dallas, and they got whacked. And the winner of the NFC South, barring the unforeseen, is going to end up hosting the team that finishes second in the NFC East. So right now, Tampa would host Philly. Dallas, meanwhile, would host the Rams. The Lions would host the Vikings, which means they play 3 times in the final 4 weeks of the season. Seattle moved up to the 8th seed with the win. They're out, but they moved up to 8 for what that's worth. Home teams, by the way, Mark, went 11-5 last week, straight up in the NFL. Good week for the home teams. And get ready, Thursday night, by the way. I mean, it's a couple of 7-7 teams, but they're both in the NFC, so the game's got significance. Saints at Rams. Al should be happy. A, it's a home game for him, and B, the game's got significance.
I think he's just happy it's a home game at this point.
Probably. What'd you think about what the NFL did yesterday to Steelers safety DeMonte Kazee?
Harsh, David. Harsh.
For those that don't know, he had the hit on
Pittman.
the Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. there. It was a vicious hit. Pittman was in a precarious position when, is it Kazee? KZ? I don't know. Kazee. Anyway, the league suspended him for the rest of the season, and that includes the playoffs if the Steelers were to make it. So that's 3 games minimum. I'm with you. It seems like a lot.
They cited the multiple offenses as a player as to why they made the suspension as long as it was. Mike Tomlin called the hit unfortunate.
Well, it sure was for the Colts wide receiver, Mike. Switching gears to a serious and sad topic. It happened late in our show yesterday. Eric Montross, who helped lead North Carolina to the 1993 National Championship, Dean Smith's last title, in which, most people at that game is remembered for Weber calling the timeout that they didn't have. Eric Montross, 9 months ago, found out he had cancer and tragically, late Sunday, passed away at the age of just 52. Left a wife and 3 kids. College hoops yesterday, 2 in-state teams in action. Jacksonville improved to 8-4 with a 10-point win against Louisiana Monroe. UCF improved to 7-3 with a 23-point win over Maine. Women's hoops, FIU lost. They're 6-5. FAU handed UCF their first loss of the season, 59-58. FAU's 5-5. UCF's 8-1. NBA, guys, I think the T-Wolves are for real. They were down 12 at the half. They were down 17 in Miami. They came back, outscored the Heat by 10 in the fourth quarter and beat them 112-108. T-Wolves are 20-5. Miami falls to 15-12.
And I thought it was interesting. It's the I think it's the 7th time that the T-Wolves have been down by double digits and have come back and won the game. That's a pretty impressive stat right there.
What's really impressive, if you haven't been paying attention to the association, the T-Wolves made the playoffs last year and went out quickly. Went out in 5, and they made the big Rudy Gobert acquisition before last season, and him and Towns weren't getting along on the court, off the court. T-Wolves had no chemistry. Looked as if they were going to have to trade one of the two, maybe even somebody else. And instead, they kept it together, got it together, and they have the best record in the West. Interesting. I will say, And I know Denver handled them in the playoffs last year, but if you think about it, if you still think you got to go through Denver in the West, well, you got to match up with the big fella. Well, the T-Wolves have, defense isn't Towns' thing, but it is Rudy Gobert's thing. I mean, Minnesota's actually built, Mark, to play Denver, for what that's worth. The Pistons lost their 24th straight. But, Trent, you made money, right? You took the points?
No, he took the money line.
I took money.
What?
I sent you the bet slip.
Well, first off, I was working.
Oh, and I know.
I just saw that you bet the Pistons and the Hawks. I didn't think for a second that you bet them straight up to win.
I
Let me get
put
this.
$2
No. Hold on a second. First
It
off,
doesn't matter. Burning good money is still burning good money, no matter how little of it you burn.
I know what you make. You make $7 a show. You can't bet the Pistons to win when they've lost 23 in a row. And Trent, this is apparently important with you. They were on the road too. They weren't even at home.
43 points for Cade Cunningham. I feel horrible for that kid.
Hawks won 130-124. That's 24 losses in a row. Mark, very quickly, do the Pistons win in 2023 or does this extend to 2024?
Wow, what a great question. We're not going to have to suffer watching them on Christmas, I don't believe, because the league would do that to us.
They would flex it if they were.
I am going to say the Pistons go 0 for the rest of the year.
December 21st against the Jazz. They're winning that game. At home, David.
Yes, I hear that's important. For the record, just doing the counting here, the Pistons have 5 more games in the calendar year. 2 against the Nets, 1 against the Celtics, the Raptors, and the aforementioned Jazz.
Back-to-back with Brooklyn. There's a possibility there.
Really?
I'm just saying, back-to-back with Brooklyn, there's a possibility.
Embiid scored 40, but the surprise of the night was Chicago went into Philadelphia and beat the Sixers, who have been playing really well. Embiid, by the way, is averaging more than a point a minute this year. I mean, and he won MVP last year. He's actually playing better this year. Hey, Embiid playing better without Harden. Huh. Who'd have thunk it?
That?
Right. And the Lakers hung the in-season tournament banner last night.
Sure did.
And so the sports gods made sure they lost to the Knicks. Do something stupid like that. You're the Lakers, for goodness sakes. The greatest.
As if they have a choice.
Franchise in league history. They do have a choice. Tell Adam Silver, we're the Lakers. Okay, you think the Celtics would hang this banner? Hell no.
I wish the Celtics would have won the tournament.
I do too.
Now I'm rooting for them in next year's in-season tournament. In fact, I'm rooting for them in every in-season tournament from now until the end of time.
The Celtics would have given the banner away as like a promotion gift. Hockey, Calgary with 2 shorties in the third period to beat the Panthers 3-1. That's unusual. Your guys' Wings have lost 6 of 7. Anaheim beat them 4-3. Crosby with the game winner for Pittsburgh. He's on pace to score like 48 goals. That's all. No big deal or anything. Nothing to see here. 4-3 Pens over the Wild. Montreal won in overtime, but so did Dallas over Seattle. Listen, there's a whole bunch of college football transfer news. We only have a 3-hour show along the network and a 4-hour show in the 239, so we don't have enough time to get to all of it. But for what it's worth, like the 5-star quarterback who committed to Georgia last year, Drew Raiola, yeah, he says, you know what, upon further review, I'm going to go to Nebraska.
That's where his dad went.
Right.
And they got their NIL act together and paid him enough money to get him to come to Nebraska.
Right. I mean, their head coach was on record when this whole thing started saying it takes about $1.5 million to $2 million to get a top-notch quarterback. So we know what he's making next year. He's making Drew Lock money. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
You did that whole Sports Center update without a final from the famous Toastery Bowl?
Was that Western Kentucky?
David, they were down 28-0 and came back and won 38-35 in overtime.
What bowl was that again?
The famous Toastery Bowl.
Can't believe I overlooked that.
Don't know if it was pumpernickel or
exactly.
sourdough.
If it was, I wouldn't have napped yesterday. I would have watched if it was pumpernickel. You know me and pumpernickel. What is famous Toastery?
Not famous.
Or Toastery. David Samson. Yeah, maybe he knows what famous Toastery is all about. His weekly appearance is next.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Second place does not matter. Second place means you're the first loser.
Here's Kobe on banners, David.
You have that mentality here. That's what gets you there. You know, this franchise does not hang division banners. It does not hang conference championships. We hang one banner only, and that's NBA titles. Responsibility to the city of Los Angeles.
Kobe started.
For all the people that could have said it too, it's Kobe.
Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, like,
if I were the Clippers, every time I played the Lakers, I might show that before the game.
Oh, up on the big screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, tomorrow we'll do Pat at 7.
Okay.
We'll do Seth at 8, and we'll move Pro Football Network at 8:38.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am well, and you?
Doing good.
Is it 4 a.m?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. 2:24 a.m., baby. Wake up call. Let's go.
I love the commitment.
We have a regular guest, Pat Kerwin, who does works for NFL Radio and CBS, NFL Today Show, and he will chastise us for taking off on holidays. That's how often he does his show.
So I'm out next Tuesday.
He guilts us on our own show.
Are you guys taking any time off or not at all?
Christmas Day.
All right. I'm missing next Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Yep. That's all right. So is my co-host.
I am. The one red eye a year. I get one red eye a year. I'm taking it.
It's legit. How many shows a year do you do?
Okay, 52 weeks times 5 is 260. We take like 8 to 10 holiday days off. So out of 250 potential shows, I'd say we do what, about 246, 247?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have not taken a vacation. We took one. Did we take a 3 or 4 dayer at the same time this year during the summer?
During the around 4th of July, we took a little time off.
I think we had 2 days off back to back, like we did a Friday, Monday thing, I think. But long story, but in our infancy here, year 3 of being syndicated, we basically have not taken off at the same time. So one of us is doing the show. And David, as you can tell with our budget, okay, we have so much money to be able to pay people to come and co-host with the other, when one of us takes off. So, right. Uh-huh. You have your Christmas list for, CBS Sports HQ and, nothing personal and things that you want. Yeah, we have ours too.
Well, I hope you get at least something you want.
Hey, everyday working's what I want.
I like it.
Paychecks.
Every day above ground.
David, I've got a real estate license. You have any of your friends in New York that want to buy a place in Southwest Florida, you let me know.
All right.
Here we go.
David's like, I need a real estate agent on that coast. I've got 9 on the other.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Tuesday. It is the final one before the big fella shows up. And it's also the final appearance of the year of one David Samson. He of Nothing Personal with David Samson. He records it live at 8 a.m. weekdays, part of the CBS Sports family as well. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at David P. Samson, David the letter P. Samson. Good morning. How are you?
I am outstanding, though my Nothing Personal pick of the day was the Eagles last night, and I stayed up all the way for that.
Oh, you weren't emotionally invested, were you? Or was it just kind of a pride ego thing that you like to be right, like most show hosts?
Well, I take my Nothing Personal pick of the day seriously, and I do the picks in whatever games I believe are the right picks. And listen, it was a great drive. It was great, yada, yada, yada. But wow, the Eagles are disappointing. Very.
Is there any baseball correlation to the backup quarterback? It seems to me like he would be the starter that lost it, because Drew Lock last night, didn't know he was starting until 10 minutes before the game, has a heroic drive, didn't play badly other than that, but had a heroic drive to win the game, and talked about it after that, didn't even know if he's going to play again. Is there a correlation to that? Is that the starting pitcher that's lost it, David?
No, it's the long guy. It's the long guy who comes to the ballpark knowing that some days he has to wear it. He's not sure which days. Sometimes the manager will try to tell the long guy, hey, tomorrow you're going, just so you know, you're backing up our pitcher. We're only giving him 30 pitches, and then you're going, whether you give up 10 runs or no runs, you're going 6 innings. And so sometimes there are players who don't know when they're going to play, or they have to be ready to play every day, even if they don't play at all.
See, and I look at Drew Lock. I mean, great, he wasn't a first-round pick, but he was a second. And, he was pretty darn good in college. I look at him as kind of like the guy who, spent a couple years in the show, and then he goes to the minors for like 3, 4, 5 years. And now you guys called him up. He doesn't know when he's going to play. Now the guy he's backing up's on the 15-day DL, if you will. And it's like, okay, buddy, you've worked 5 years for this. Good luck.
Yeah, we tell people when we bring them up that it's harder to stay up than it is to come up. And remember, they've spent their careers trying to get to the major leagues. And we try to make it very clear to them that getting here is really a quarter of the battle. And we also try to explain to players that all the decisions that they think front offices make about when they get sent down or when they get optioned or when they play more, the funny part is we don't make many of the decisions. The players make it for us. And so we try to communicate to them, help us make the decision about your career. Make it impossible for us to send you back to the minor leagues. And some players listen to that and do that, and some can't.
Was he just Tom Cruise in the shower there? Did he just say, help me help you?
I
Did he
use
just
that
go
line.
there?
Oh, I use that line. I use a lot of Jerry Maguire lines during running of the Marlins because a lot of them are really apt. So when a player's being unreasonable and the agent's being unreasonable, I would break into the show me the money without a problem. I say you've had me at hello when we get a guy to agree to a deal that I know is a really good deal for us and they agree to what we say. I'll respond like, hey, you had me at hello, and we'll sign the deal. So there's some good moments for that.
Any agents get honked off that use Jerry Maguire lines at him?
No, they laugh. It's funny. And listen, Jerry Maguire is a movie that everyone should see. It's not far off. When you leave a company and when you go on your own, and a lot of agents think about doing that, a lot of people thinking about doing that, you often only have the goldfish, and if you're lucky, Renee Zellweger. Normally, it's just the goldfish. And the calling clients, that's Wall Street. In addition to sports, when you leave a firm on Wall Street, you're calling all your clients, even though you have a non-compete clause, but you're calling them all, trying to get them, and you're on hold and hold and hold. And if you get one, like Cuba Gooding Jr., you're on your way.
So when you release a player, do you take him out to an eatery in South Florida? Is that what you do? You let him go in the middle of lunch?
No, we bring him into the manager's office, and we sometimes don't even wait for them to finish their shower. We'll send, hey, go get him. He's in the shower. Go get him. I got to get home. I got to watch Survivor. Bring the player in. He wraps a towel around himself, comes in dripping wet. Hey, man, sorry, we're going to have to send you out. Yeah, it's not great. But listen, again, those decisions are often made by the player.
Didn't Crash Davis, wasn't it Bull Durham? Didn't somebody get released in a towel? No?
It is totally normal. You'd be shocked inside a Major League clubhouse, or maybe you two wouldn't. The number of players who walk around either in towels or nothing is pretty unbelievable.
It is the one commonplace of all locker room. Does not matter the sport. I'm a hockey guy, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've watched many a guy get traded coming out of the shower or before he got into the end of practice. It's right. It's hockey's a little different than baseball, but we had the pregame skate. Guys would come in for the pregame skate. They'd get undressed, and all of a sudden you'd get a call from the office. He might still have his gear on. He might be out of the shower. You got to do it when they're in the facility, so it sometimes makes it uncomfortable, David.
We once had to chase a coach when we fired Brad Arnsberg, a pitching coach, or a boat, whatever he was. He wouldn't come in, and we wanted to do it in person, so we sent our GM, who had to chase him. God, we've chased people around airports before, around
Mike Hill is chasing Brad Arnsberg?
No, this is back in the day when it was Larry Beinfest.
Gotcha. I was going to say.
Yeah, and Larry Beinfest doesn't chase a lot of people, so it took a minute. It was like slow motion, like, go, come back. I want to fire you, please.
We've brought this up in the past. Why do you guys let us in the media in the clubhouse? And I'm actually
it's
semi-serious. Well, no, but why change the rules? I mean, just no. Seriously, I've always believed this. First off, it's the only place working. I've been doing this over 35 years. The only place where I've been remotely uncomfortable is a baseball clubhouse. The players clearly don't want us there, and I got to admit, I don't think I belong. It's their office. I don't think I belong. That you can set up a place where we could talk to them. You let us on the damn field for batting practice. I could talk to them on the field. Why do you also let us in their office?
So it's funny. So funny you mention that. Are there some things in life where they are how they are and you can't fight everything? So the BBWAA, the rule is that 10 minutes after a game, the clubhouse has to open. Then there's a rule about on off days or during the playoffs. And we're given these rules. Sometimes we kept the clubhouse closed longer than 10 minutes when we're releasing a player or it's going to be big news or we're trading a player or we're firing a manager or we're having a team meeting. We will close the clubhouse for longer. But if you close it too long, they can file a complaint with the BBWAA and MLB. And that was never worth it to us. And we ask players to man up and talk to the media, but we've had players who hide in the places in the clubhouse where you can't go. We have players hide in either the food room or the training room or the shower, and they wait it out. And then we have some media people who will try to wait out the players who are waiting them out, and it becomes like a standoff where you've got the player who can't leave, you've got the media guy who just wants a story, and then we'll go in, the PR people, or sometimes even me, and just say to the player, hey, you just gave up 8 runs in 2 innings. Can you just do me a favor and go say you sucked and you'll get him next time? Just anything, please. But I understand what you're saying. On the other hand, I also respect that you all have jobs to do. And that's what we talk to the players about. You've got a job to do, and you're making a lot of money to do it. The media people make way less money than you do, and they're simply trying to do their jobs. Don't make it so they can't.
And the Orioles just redid their deal at 30 years. Is there anything out there baseball-wise, stadium-wise, that we should be paying attention to that you are right now, David?
Oh, I'm paying attention to what's going on with not just the Orioles, but with the Royals. I'm paying attention to the White Sox. So it's an interesting division. The Royals said in September they were going to choose a new place to play, and they're trying to get public financing, and they can't even narrow down a site, and they've got to do it by the 3rd week in January to try to get on the ballot, and getting on the ballot is no fun. I'm looking at the right now, the Diamondbacks, the National League champions, are trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's so funny, guys. All of these new stadiums that I think are new stadiums are old.
Yeah.
And they all need to be renovated. Camden Yards, to me, is brand new. And then I look at the clock and I say, holy crikeys, it's 30 years old. I can't even believe that. The entire lease for Marlins Park is 38 years, and that felt like a forever lease. Meanwhile, the building's been open. This will be its 13th season. So it's just mind-boggling to me the way time goes, and I sound old, and I don't mean to. But, man, tempus fugit.
What'd you think of the St. Pete City Council saying, oh, by the way, guys, we want to be the St. Pete Rays? Now, in your guys' deal, wasn't that actually part of the deal? You guys had to change the name of the team to Miami, or no?
This was the highlight of my negotiation with them. They asked us, the city and the county of Miami asked us to change our name from Florida Marlins to Miami Marlins, and we said no chance, toilet pants. But secretly, we were guaranteeing in our mind, our rebrand, we were changing to the Miami Marlins. We wanted to be hip and cool in Miami with new colors, but we pretended we didn't want to do it. And we traded something fantastic. We got a big financing piece that we needed to close the deal, and finally gave in to changing our name to Miami. But we were ready to do it the whole time. Now, the president of the Rays is claiming they don't want to do it because they'll offend their people in Tampa. And that makes me smile because those people aren't going to games. So it doesn't matter what you call yourself. And if St. Pete will give you money, change your name. But I still don't think it's going to happen, though.
I mean, they said they canceled the deal over it. I mean, they went right to the extreme. They said, over my dead body is what they said.
And that's how you lose credibility because, of course, they're not going to walk away from a multi-billion-dollar development of their city that will help their city outside of baseball. And they're not going to walk away. And it was a rogue city council person, and they backed off almost immediately.
He's David Samson. He does this podcast weekdays live at 8:00. He calls it Nothing Personal with David Samson, just in case you wonder who it is and what have you. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at David the letter P Samson, David P Samson. Hey, we know Hanukkah, is coming and going and all, but listen, thanks for everything in 2023, and how about we do this in 2024?
You know how to reach me, and I love Tuesdays. I've told you that from the beginning. I love being with you guys every Tuesday at 7 a.m., and I'm happy to continue, but you have to recognize, there is inflation. See you later.
Times zero is zero.
Thanks, David.
See you. Happy New Year.
We may have buried the lead this morning. When we come back, I will explain. It is a big day on the show. That coming up next on Miller and Moulton. Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Made is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Made today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymade.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. KW, I had to look up what it meant. I was not aware of Tempus Fugit before today's show. We all learn something when David Samson comes on.
Have a Molly Jolly Christmas.
It's beginning to look a lot.
Wow, he's singing too.
Like
I know.
this. I love
he's
Christmas.
happy. He's happy.
You love Christmas?
Huge.
Look
But
at you.
I will admit, this year it's been tough to get into the spirit because I'm down here. I'm not used to this. I'm still adjusting to the
Sure. Yeah.
This is a nice blanket of snow up home, and I nothing here.
Right, and you guys get killed with snow where you are.
Yeah. Yep. Lake effect. I mean, we're 20 miles from the lake shore, so it's just a lot of snow days growing up. That was always fun.
Me too, because I went to a Catholic school. Soon as any of the outer ones were out, we were done too. It was the best. Wow, KW. I don't hate Christmas. I'm starting to like Christmas even more.
How much time do I have?
A minute?
45 seconds.
Oh, damn. I guess I'll have
42
to
seconds.
settle for water.
You need me to send you something on Drizzly? Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. If you miss any part of the show, Trent is very good right after every hour of the show. He puts up the hour we just did at floridasportsnetwork.com, floridasportsnetwork.com. So like if you just missed our last segment with David Samson, well, you can catch it, pretty soon.
He went Latin. He went Latin during that. I don't know if you caught that.
Well, I know
he Tempest Fugit.
Well, I know he was, quoting, Bull Durham and, Show Me the Money and movies like that. But no, I missed that.
He just threw that in really quickly, which apparently means, I had to look it up, means time flies. When he was talking about Camden Yard there. And he just threw that out. Just
say it again. Tempest what?
Tempest Fugit.
Tempest Fugit. All right.
Tempest Fugit, huh?
The more you know.
That was over my head. I missed that.
So did I.
I did. John Fanta talks some college hoops in a little more than an hour. Trent and the play of the day. I think I know what it's going to be in a handful of minutes.
But we buried the lead. We get up early, and sometimes I just forget what damn day it is.
What are you talking
And today's
about?
a big day.
It's Tuesday.
No, it's December the 19th.
Oh.
It's someone's birthday.
It is.
It is one David Moulton's birthday. And David, who does not like to pay, doesn't like any attention drawn to himself on days like today. He's mentioning the big guy and what guests are coming up. But big guy, it's your birthday.
So,
birthday, David Moulton.
Thank you. 58. So Ed Svita, who's been mentioned before, Philadelphia's own, He's Joe's longtime stats guy. And so Ed Svita and I actually have the same birthday. He's 6 years younger, but we're born on the same day. Ironically, Joe's longtime assistant, friend, okay, he calls him his editorial consultant, Steve Horn. His birthday is December 17th. So it's the three of us, along with Joe's spotter, Bill Garrity, and we're having dinner in the press area last night. And we wish Steve a belated happy birthday. And then he goes, aren't you guys celebrating a birthday soon? And we're like, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, tomorrow. And deadpanned, okay, didn't even really look up from what he was eating. He goes, well, that's if you make it. I go, come on, Steve, it's about 8-9 hours. And once again, while still eating, he's like, you never know what's going to happen. He looks like Mick Jagger and sounds like Stephen Wright, by the way. That's who I'm talking about, Steve Horn here. Probably the smartest person I've ever met in my life. But he looks like Mick Jagger, okay? Long hair, though, Mick in the back, okay? And talks and acts like Stephen Wright, the comedian. Why it is that we drive on a parkway and park on a driveway. You know, that comedian.
I'm curious. And this is more for me. And if we get a little background on, you've mentioned Ed Sveen a million times, a big Philadelphia fan. When they get beat, see, when they win, he flaps his arms at Aikman and yells at him during the game.
Hey.
When they lose a game in the way that they lost it last night, I am curious how someone who is obviously a big fan of a team, and I know he's going to do his job. I get it. You guys are pros and you do your job. But does Aikman ever look at him and just wink when something like that happens? Did he say something, walk up? Because of all of the grief that it sounds like Troy takes from Ed during Eagles games or during any Eagles score, you would think Troy would want to get back at him maybe just once.
And, first drive of the game, 15 plays, 75 yards, 8.5 minutes. And sure enough, like clockwork, hey, 8! And there he is, flapping his arms. And so I did say to Troy, Locks throws the touchdown and what have you, and we go to break, and in his ear I go, hey, should we flap our arms at Svita? All right. And Troy's like, nah, I don't think he's in a good mood right now. So
when does the fan in him come out? Was it the walk back? I mean,
halftime, the 12 minutes at halftime, but they were up 10-3. So, and he had the race for a red eye, so I didn't see him afterwards, but I'm sure he was confessing the whole way in the car. He's just an older Trent. That's all.
What's that mean?
Well, like
what's that mean?
Actually, it's a compliment to you. I'd put you, this is a guy who's got a nice career going and, but he's a big Philly sports fan and he wears it. Loves his Phillies. Loves his Eagles. All right. Is a little angry with the Sixers. All right. In fact, there's so many, and he's a Villanova alum. He's such a Villanova fan. He said, I actually now have a soft spot for the Knicks because they have 4 guys from Villanova on the team. All right. And I'm like, wow, that's a little nuts. But so anyway, it's like Trent. You know how he is after a loss. Svita just doesn't wear the garb, but otherwise he's the same guy. He's just 28 years older.
We tried, but room service would not deliver a cake to your room at this hour of the morning in Seattle.
We exhausted efforts.
You don't even know where I'm staying.
I know people. In fact, you said it on the air yesterday. We know exactly where you're staying.
Didn't you say what hotel you're at yesterday?
Yeah, but you'd have to remember it. So
that's a dadgum good point.
First off, if it's $8 for a ginger ale, okay, I don't know if I could get away with expensing a cake. Yeah, David, we have to talk to you. You had a $148 food expenditure? What was it you had? It's my birthday, guys. Yeah,
had a cake.
I had a cake. I had to make it from scratch. Chocolate icing and everything. Here's the funny thing. You'd think for $148, it'd be a cake that could serve 2, but it only served 1. Well, thank you. Yes, 58. I mean, year and a half away from cashing in those IRAs. Just you have to have goals, I guess. Have to have goals.
And one
Mark,
of them is for you and I to keep working for the rest of our lives, David.
I was going to say, Mark, what grade's your daughter in? How much longer am I working?
She's in 4th grade.
Holy blank. That's 8.5 years till college. You'll probably want me to work. Oh, man. I got to work to 70?
You guys are just teeing off.
Work till 70. Sounds like fun. Time for our play of the day. Trent, what do you have for us?
We've only got a few more Monday Night Football broadcasts, so we need to seize the opportunity here for one big reason in particular. It's David Moulton's birthday. He has done the show at 3 a.m. from Seattle the last couple days. I don't think I've ever been awake at 3 a.m. on my birthday, and if I was, it's because I didn't go to bed. But Drew Lock versus Jalen Hurts last night. No, it's not Bama versus Missouri. There's 1:52 to play. Drew Lock with the ball. He went 92 yards to put the Seahawks up 20-17. Here's how the toss to Jackson Smith and Jigba sounded on Hawks radio.
JSN is wide to the far side. Drew looks, throws that way. Got JSN. He reaches up, makes the catch. Touchdown! Seahawks! Holy catfish! What a throw by Drew Lock. What an over-the-shoulder catch by Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Holy catfish. I've never heard that before. Eagles get the ball back, but it's Julian Love with an interception to seal it and give Philly a 3rd straight L. And the Seahawks are still alive. And there's your play of the day presented by Molly Maid.
The Molly Maid play of the day. Check them out, mollymaid.com/FT Myers for the best in house cleaning. Just ask David. He was a customer for, 14 years when you lived here? 13 years, something like that?
At least 15 years of Molly Maid. They're great, by the way. Outstanding. Did a phenomenal job. Trying to replace them in Jacksonville. Still struggling to find a replacement for them. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. John Fanta to talk college hoops in an hour on Miller and Moulton.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly Maid Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, Canada Relief, you're spot on. The NFC East has not had a back-to-back winner since 2004.
Yep.
Which is absolutely nuts.
The Eagles won 4 in a row, 0-1 through 0-4, and nobody's gone back-to-back since.
That is absolutely insane. Like, does that speak more to stability or incompetence? What do you think?
Just randomness.
But is it more impressive? I guess I don't know how to phrase the question. Because it's, you know what I mean, though? Like, it either means teams can't string together back-to-back good seasons, or it just means it's a really competitive division. Or both.
I think it's a little more of the latter because the division's been good about having usually 2 good teams every year. You know, it's not like the Patriots run through the AFC East. The Patriots were amazing, but the rest of the division had their head up their butt for long stretches. You know, the Jets had like 20, you know, they were okay 02 through 06, and 2009 and 2010, but the Jets have had 1 winning season since. You know, the Dolphins had, like, before the last couple of years, the Dolphins had 2-3 winning seasons in a 15-year period of time. The Bills went 18 years in between playoff appearances. I mean, the Patriots totally mind blanked the rest of the division.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just remarkable. That's crazy. How many times did Washington win it throughout that since 04?
I think just the twice.
I'm gonna look that
They
up.
won it with Mike Shanahan, RG3's rookie year, which was 2012.
Yes,
I think, and Ron Rivera's first year there when they won the division at 7-9. I think it was 2020. I think it was the pandemic year. Taylor Heineke started in the playoff game against Tampa. So I think they've won the division twice. They've won it 3 times. What's the other year, Canada Relief?
15. 12, 15, and 2020.
15, huh? Oh, yeah, Kirk Cousins' playoff game. Got it.
They went 9-7 and won the division that year. Tough year for the East.
Giants in 07, in 2011 won the division, and 9-7 won the Super Bowl.
That's a funky water bottle, David.
I know, isn't it? I have a feeling this is the one that's going to cost me.
Fill it back up with the top on it and put it in the fridge.
Totally. Either that or it was the Evian bottle yesterday that someone thought was vodka. Yes, I'm drinking vodka straight to wake up this morning.
I'm pretty excited for John Fanta. I don't know about you guys. That's going to be a fun one.
You're all fired up that we got college basketball this morning, aren't you?
I am so happy. It's that time of year.
Most of our audience is like, if you say so. Yes, Despicable D. That's exactly what it is.
USC is playing a road game against Alabama State.
Oh, it's because he played Auburn over the weekend. So my guess is to make the trip worthwhile,
they just stayed.
He scheduled another game, schedule a win, and then come back.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour. John Fanta will join us 1 hour from now. No Pat Kerwin today. he's still working on getting power back at one of his places. The storm hit it pretty good, and his travel schedule and all that. But Pat will join us in the 7 o'clock hour tomorrow, actually. Pat Kerwin tomorrow, Seth Everett tomorrow. Another good show lined up. So had David Samson on at the top of this hour. You ever miss anything on Miller and Moulton? FloridaSportsNetwork.com, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Download what you missed.
So this whole Devin White not playing inactive thing has, I don't know about taking a turn, but there's a lot of inconsistencies with what they're saying.
Okay.
Todd Bowles basically couldn't decide whether it was Friday or Saturday in which he told him he wasn't playing. There are talks that it was basically after White decided that he wasn't starting, that he wasn't going to play. I mean, there's just a lot of gray area.
Well, I do think, though, the two stories where they collide, though, is that he was benched. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Everything after that is salacious. It's fun, but it's really details. I mean, he's in the final year of a contract. If they're benching him with 4 games left in his contract, they're not re-signing him.
Correct.
So this is the end of Devin White in Tampa. It's just a matter of, is he going to be on the active roster or not? Did you catch Todd Bowles' post-game Sunday?
A bit of it, yes.
If he said it once, he said it 30 times. Quote, "It was a great team win." I don't know about you, Mark, but to me, that was the double bird at Devin White. You think you're bigger than the team? Hell, we just came to Green Bay and kicked the Packers' butt without you. Good luck on your journey. We've won 3 in a row, by the way. We're in first place. If you feel like playing,
you haven't played in any of them.
Right. If you feel like playing, let me know. But it's KJ Britt, right? That's who they're moving on to, the 5th rounder out of Auburn a few years ago.
Yeah, that's the starter.
Right. So they'll sign him to an extension. He's entering the final year of his rookie deal next year, I believe. So they'll take care of him in the offseason. And Devin's costing himself money here.
Yeah, wherever he plays next year, this isn't a good look.
No, it's not. It's not. It's probably not a lot of money. I mean, when somebody likes you, they're willing to overlook things. But he's probably cost himself a little bit of money here. But there's no doubt. I mean, he's furious with Tampa Bay because they, in deciding to bench him, have cost him a lot of money. He was hoping to get a Roquan Smith contract. I mean, that's what he was talking about in the summer, Mark. I mean, this just in. Roquan's first digit on his contract is a 2.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No. And as RCB points out in our Twitch chat room, the Bucks have been placating Devin White all year. He shot his mouth off during the offseason. Levante David talked to him, put his arm around him. Devin White changed it. Todd talked to him. Listen, we want you. It's just, you're asking for a little more right now than we want. We'll figure it out. You're going to be the guy. It went from Derek Brooks, Levante. That's going to go to you. Okay, just relax. He's like, okay. Well, 3 months into the season, he's not buying what they're selling anymore. And it sounds like Todd Bowles has said, well, I got to be honest. I've looked at the film. I ain't buying what you're giving.
Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, when you're benching a guy with 4 games left, it's not like they're Carolina, David, where it's playing out and trying to figure out things for next year. They are still trying to win a division. And they've told Devin White that they're better off winning the division without him. That's a strong statement.
And they've gone out and won 3 in a row. Hey, back-to-back road wins. I mean, this time of year, it gets tougher, I think, to win on the road later in the year. Between injuries and fatigue, I just think it's harder most years. And the Bucks Went on the road as a 5-7 and a 6-7 team and won 2 games. Now they've won 3 in a row. Boy, it's funny how things turn. 3 games ago, the Bucs were 4-7, and Todd Bowles was an hour and a half away from his head coaching career probably being over. And the Jags were 8-3. And hell, they were talking about the 1 seed.
And now the Jags are in a virtual pick'em with the Bucs on the road Sunday in Tampa.
Right. And we don't know if Trevor's playing.
In concussion protocol.
I mean, he's never missed a start, but this is different. I mean, concussion protocol. This isn't you making the call on an ankle.
Correct. You're not the one that determines whether or not you play in this situation.
Boy, sports are great, aren't they?
Well, this league is something. Even though the league can sometimes give us bad football, bad officiating, there's a lot of things we can complain about the NFL. But here we are with a couple weeks left in the season, and it's another week where nearly every damn game has meaning on the schedule. They figured this out, David. They really have.
But just also the wild swings. Is it like this every year? I don't know. But I mean, Jacksonville, 3-game losing streak. Eagles, 3-game losing streak. Bucs now with the 3-game winning streak. How about the Indianapolis and Houston stories? I mean, those teams both picked in the top 5 of the draft. One of them's in the playoffs, and the other one is losing out on a tiebreaker right now.
Well, and to your point, it was a month and a month ago that the Niners had a little injury problem. They lost a few games in a row, and we were wondering what was wrong with the San Francisco 49ers. And now everybody thinks that they're far and away the best team in the league, and it's not close.
And they're trying to figure out, do I vote for Brock Purdy for MVP or do I vote for Christian McCaffrey? I might have voted for Debo, but he missed those games. I don't know if I can vote for him. Purdy says we should vote for McCaffrey. McCaffrey says we should vote for Purdy. What do I do? Aikman, for what it's worth, last night said he'd vote for Purdy. No, I don't think he has a vote, but he got 3 votes for MVP in his entire career. We looked it up. I think we looked it up last year or a couple years ago. Russell Wilson, I think, was still in Seattle, or maybe it was the opener last year when he was Denver at Seattle. And because Russell Wilson has never received a vote for MVP. All the terrific years he put up in Seattle, he never received 1 vote for MVP. And so just for the heck of it, we looked up whether or not Troy had ever received a vote for MVP. He didn't know. I mean, he could care less about these things. He really could. All right. And so we looked at
a gold jacket. Do you really care about votes for MVP? I mean, there may have been a time in which he cared, David, and maybe there wasn't. I don't know, and I'm not trying to judge him at all. But isn't there a point when they put the gold jacket on you that you can quit giving a damn about everything else in the sport? 3 Lombardis and a gold jacket. I think that's the point when you can put the double bird up to just about everything else in the sport.
It's not the double bird, but he is pretty indifferent to it. He's kind of like, yeah, I really don't think about those things. And I'd be like, well, if I had your office, I wouldn't either. It is something to walk into the office and to see the bust and then the 3 replica Lombardis. You're like, son of a gun. He got 3 votes in 1993 for MVP.
Mark Schlereth said something really interesting the other day. He thinks that quarterbacks should be ineligible to win the MVP. It should be quarterback of the year, and then there's the MVP because quarterbacks don't play football is his thing. It's the rules protect, and this is coming from an O-lineman, right?
Of course. Well, let me just, there's no doubt if you wanted to change the award to most outstanding player, that's the difference. Yep. Because if it's most valuable, it's got to be a quarterback.
Has to be.
And even last week, and I know it was the Jets, but as much as Tyreek has been for the Dolphins, they were just fine without him last week. That actually, him not playing, if the Dolphins struggle against the Jets, you could say, ooh, makes a case for his MVP award.
Yep.
But they go out and Waddle has 57 catches for 284 yards, and they go, oh, we can find someone else. But you take a quarterback off the field, and we've watched it this year. I mean, if we've ever, how many quarterbacks have played? 50 what?
About as many as Waddle had catches on Sunday. I think it's right around the same number. Yeah.
One for every year of David Moulton's life.
Oh, look at that. It's pretty close to it's right around 50. Hey, Pat Kerwin's coming on tomorrow. He'll let us know what the number is for sure. That thing just rolls off the tip of his tongue. He loves keeping track of how many quarterbacks we go through. Pat will join us in the 7 o'clock hour. 7 o'clock hour tomorrow, Pat Kerwin. You know, it's funny. So you don't think if the Dolphins win out, and, you know, it'd be pretty impressive. Dallas, Baltimore, Buffalo. You got to figure Tyreek's going to be big. And there's a chance that he could break Calvin Johnson's, you know, single season record. I mean, missing that game is going to be hard. But here's the thing, by the way, there were some people who were going to hold it against Tyreek because he was going to break the record in a 17-game season. Well, now he's only going to play 16 games, the same as Calvin. So if he breaks the record, are people going to not put an asterisk next to it? But I mean, he has to average like 130, 140 yards receiving a game to break the record. But let's just say he does. He catches, 20 passes, 400 yards, 3-4 touchdowns. Dolphins win out. They're the 1 seed. Where's Tyreek on your MVP ballot?
Well, he's got to get the record to be considered for an MVP, I think, David.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's the first part of it. If he gets the record, he's going to be no worse than top 3.
Now, remember, heading into Sunday, Dak Prescott was the leader in the clubhouse for the MVP. I mean, this is like the Heisman. This thing changes by the hour.
And Dak, with the games he has left and the time of the day that those games are being played, if the Cowboys win out, Dak's still going to be right in the middle of the MVP hunt.
Right. The Miami game's getting a prime spot, and then
so's the Detroit game.
Prime time on Saturday, the December 30th, is when the Lions game will take place. And then, we'll see about that season finale against Washington. But I'm just going to throw this out there. I think we should be talking a little more about Lamar. In fact, I think a lot of people should be talking a lot more about Lamar. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and the question was raised. Mahomes is the obvious answer. Okay, but name the quarterbacks right now in which you feel very confident the performance you're going to get from them every Sunday. Because, this person listens to our show and, he says to me, you guys are always talking about find a good backup quarterback. Well, how about good starters? I mean, how many starting quarterbacks will you bet on every week they're going to give you blank? And the list actually gets pretty, no more than 2 hands. But,
And Dak's having a year like that this year that for the first time that what you're getting out of Dak. And it's been pretty damn good this year.
Right. But then again, Sunday it wasn't. But yes, now Tua's having the kind of year this year in which you go, well, yeah, this year I might say Tua. But, I mean, let's be honest. We mentioned Mahomes and some will mention Josh Allen and, Burrow's hurt, obviously. But, I mean, how quickly do you have to mention Lamar?
By the way, if the Bills went out and win the division, Josh Allen won't win the MVP, but his name will be brought up.
Well, Sean McDermott will give him another game ball, even if Cook's rushing for $180. What a butt smoocher that head coach is. You don't have to kiss his butt. You already gave him the 200-something million.
He went to the podium after the game and said he felt like the kid that didn't do anything and got an A on the group project.
Yeah.
He literally used that analogy at the podium.
I mean, come on. They completed 6 passes, rushed for 24 yards. What am I getting a game ball for? Because my car got to the parking lot on time?
Well, that is important if you're Josh Allen, David.
Well, there's no doubt. Now you could argue because of Josh Allen, they only had 6 in the box, and that's why Cook had such a big day. And I'll grant you that, but that means you give them the game ball every time they win, right? Anyway, I'm just making the case. I actually think for a great player who's making $250 million, I actually think Lamar's a little underrated.
Underrated.
When we talk great quarterbacks, how come he doesn't roll off everybody's, tongue? Can you name 5 better? 5 you could count on?
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Thank you, Clark, by the way. It's very nice of you. Alex Fita wished me happy birthday. I said, I just told the Steve story, wondering if we'd both make it.
FGCU is a 4.5-point favorite
against an 0-11 team.
Starts at 6 too.
Georgia Southern and Detroit Mercy are both 0-11.
Yeah, I think Mongo's onto something. You should walk right up to the Delta Gate and say, I'm a gold medallion customer and it's my birthday. How about a little love for a little upgrade today? All they can do is tell you no.
And they'd say, hey, that's cute. Okay, make sure you take your 21C seat.
You never know.
David, where do you like to sit on the plane?
On the aisle. On the aisle.
Aisle, okay.
So he can fall asleep and no one can get up and get around him.
So that the beverage cart can hit the corner of my knee and wake me out of a sound sleep with shooting pain.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Just like that, it's the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton. I'm told it's a big day on the show today. I wondered what it was for. I was informed by my co-host it's because it's my birthday. Is that because you were doubtful that I'd make it? I mean,
No,
we
don't. I'm bad at, for whatever, there are two people's birthdays that have been long friends of mine that I'm bad at. Yours is one of them. Another person, David Miller, no relation, isn't, for whatever reason, and I've been lifelong friends with David. I've been friends with you for over 20 years. It's just one of those dates that I forget. I have yours locked in as the 20th in my head when it's the 19th. His is in April, and I'm always off by a couple of days. And I just thought it was noteworthy. It's Christmas time. Everybody's focused on the big guy, that we give the other big guy, you, a little love on their birthday.
Ho, ho, ho.
The one without the beard.
Although, give me a few more days on the road and anything is possible. I think it's a guy thing. Also, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't get anybody's reminder. Hey, it's so-and-so's birthday. I don't care. If I cared, I'd remember their birthday. Although, there's a good friend of mine. I care about him a lot. Bob, my lawyer buddy from Jersey. He wished me a happy birthday. And I'm like, listen, Bob, I'd take a bullet for you. When's your birthday?
And that's a tough ask of someone when you're both nearing 60, not 50, not 40, not 30, not 20. You're long enough in life that by this point you should know their birthday if you're going to.
Well, I guess, but I mean,
you guess. How long have you been friends with this guy?
Let's say freshman year of college. First weekend I was at college, I met Bob.
Okay. And you don't know the month?
Actually, you're going to make me look like just a bad person. And I think I'm a pretty good friend and a decent dude, but no, I was absolutely clueless. When I texted him, I said, I had no idea. Turns out it's September. I'm like, I'll be damned.
Well, there you go. Happy birthday, Bob. We're a little late.
Well, it's like yours. Listen, I didn't start remembering your birthday till like 5-7 years ago. I didn't. And it's funny. You reminded me it's very close to my mom's birthday. And I think I've got the day right. I think it's the 23rd.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah, it was
Of
the
what?
22nd, 23rd.
August. He's got the month because it's the same month as like all the moms in my life are the same age. My mother-in-law, my mom, and David's mother, all born in 1944. All have birthdays between June 1st and September 2nd. So it's really easy for me to kind of remember that I know about, and David's mom's birthday is pretty close to mine.
So yeah, I'm not big. Like I don't know the exact day of Troy's birthday, but I know that there's 1 month a year that we're the same age. So I know it's around Halloween every year. I know it's late November, but I don't know the exact day. And I only learned Gary's exact birthday like a handful of years ago. And I've considered myself not just
but that's totally different because we have no proof that Gary was actually born on this planet.
Wow.
I mean, he could be an alien for all we know.
We're running with this Spock thing, are we?
Yes.
You know, because he doesn't buy into the whole pageantry
Right.
and then momentum.
Right.
So
if there's one guy that's never going to tell you when his damn birthday is, it's Gary. So that doesn't surprise me in the least.
And he didn't tell me when his birthday was. I actually looked up the stat, and I'm like, oh wow, that's your birthday. So,
which is amazing for you because you can sit there and tell me when LeBron's birthday is or when whatever athlete. I mean, Tigers. I mean, there's athletes you remember in ways that I can't even imagine.
Well, I believe, and 58 now, and my memory's not as good as it used to be, but I think LeBron and Tiger have the same birthday. That's why I remembered it. I think it's December 30th.
It is.
And only because we obviously talk about them a lot, and it's kind of like wanting to know how old they were turning. We were doing the Tiger majors, how old he is, and obviously LeBron. And so Tiger, I believe, was born in 75, so I believe he turns 48.
Let me ask you a question. Will there be any birthday cards waiting for you that came in the mail? Like, does your mom mail you a birthday card?
Yes. My mom, not always on time, but
that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay, as long as it shows up.
Yes. And my wife will always get a card, and whether my daughter picks out the card or my wife picks it out and gets her to sign it. So I'm good for 3 cards. Yeah. I will say my lawyer buddy Bob and his wife Jane, they're a lot like your wife. They send us an anniversary card. They send us,
an anniversary card?
I know.
That's a good friend right there.
I know. I don't know when their anniversary is either. I'd take a bullet for both of them, but the details. Listen, you know me. My line with people is I'm not good with names unless you put a jersey on. You put a jersey on, I'm good with names. I'm good with dates. Hell, I'll remember your stats. Okay, I'll know your blood pressure if you put a jersey. If you want to be my friend, put a jersey on. I'll remember everything about. I'll know your medication if you put a jersey on. But of course, Miller and Moulton banned people from wearing jerseys over the age of 25 unless they're a woman.
I will say now we could have a new criteria. If you put the number and it's your blood pressure on your jersey, I'll allow it. If I see a jersey with 130 over 80, maybe that's something.
There you go. So I can't believe we're going here. So last road trip, I came home and stuff was unpacked for me. I know we've lived in the condo 15 months, but I haven't unpacked everything yet.
Why would you?
Right.
By the way, all those boxes that haven't been unpacked, you can take right to Goodwill. Because if you haven't used them in 15 months, you don't need them.
Well, Mark, don't get me started. Most of this stuff wouldn't have made the move if it was up to me. I was told whatever's left, pack it up and bring it. We'll decide. 2024 is the decision year. Okay. It's not just a presidential election year. It's a deciding year in the Moulton household.
Those boxes are in a contract year right now.
You're damn right. Okay. And we are not renewing a lot of them. I'm with Mark.
This is arbitration in a different way.
Yeah. We are walking away from a lot of contracts in 2024, let me tell you. So, but for whatever reason, my wife was looking for our marriage papers a week ago while I was on the road. So, of course, what you do is you open up my closet and you go through what turns out to be a bunch of sweaters. because of course that's where you're going to find the marriage certificate, somewhere in amongst my sweatshirts and sweaters. Right.
Right. These are the ones she placed on your bed when you got home from the long trip and you had all the sweaters there.
Exactly. And that's what I want to do when I get home at 11 o'clock at night, is have to clean off my bed and my desk and set the equipment up. Right. So she found a hockey jersey. 2 of them, in fact. One was the gift that we got from a longtime listener in our first act. The jerseys from, was it Saudi Arabia?
No, Dubai. The Dubai Camels.
Dubai. The what again?
The Dubai Camels.
The Dubai Camels at a hockey league in Dubai. We're like, come on, they don't play hockey in Dubai. And this guy sent us jerseys. And we actually wore them to like a Stanley Cup playoff thing we did back in the day. One time. So that jersey's on a hanger. And much to my shock, my horror, I remembered when I was a kid, or Trent's age anyway. You know, he still refers to Cade Cunningham as a kid. So, you know, when you're that age, early to mid-20s, you're still a kid to some of us. So when I was a kid, I had a Rangers jersey that my mother got me. What am I going to do? Get rid of it? My mom got it for me. Has my name on the back. And it's got John Van Beesbrook's number. Because, you know, it's the fat kid. They put him in goal.
Right.
This was pre-Mike Richter. You know, so I open and I look at my closet, and there's the what's it, the Camels?
The Camels and the Beezer jersey, huh?
And I went, oh no, that says Moulton on the back, doesn't it? And I turned, I looked at it, and I go, this is everything I despise. This is everything that I rail against, and it is hanging in my closet. Oh my goodness.
I'd give it to the daughter.
It's huge, Mark.
Oh.
It's just
you said you got it in your 20s. You weren't huge then.
I wasn't huge then, but it's a hockey jersey. Plus, you know, the goal, it's big. It's big. I could do that. That's true. I could. You know, what the heck?
Because she's still, I mean, she's a female. She can wear the jersey for the rest of her life.
That's right. No, they're you know, they're grandfathered in. They're good. So,
any attempt to put it on? Did you see it and think about putting it on, walk around the house?
No. First
Make
off,
a kick save in the corner.
Here's the other thing why I don't focus on my birthday. One, because it's not important, but two, my wife thinks I'm dying every day. And not the old, well, you know, we are dying every day. We're closer to the finish line. No. My wife genuinely acts thrilled when I wake up the next day. And all the time I look at her and I go, you think I'm dying, right? And so I'm like, then why do you count birthdays? It just, you know, apparently it's ending tomorrow. Why are we getting, you know, bent out of shape about this? Right. So, but now I have to admit, this is one of those birthdays. Like, do you remember when you turned 28 and you went, holy blank, I'm closer to 30 than, oh man, you know, and then you do the same thing, you know, to 40 and then 58. I mean, I've been getting the crematorium stuff in the mail, Mark, for like 7-8 years now.
Yeah, they get after you pretty quickly. The only one, there's only been one birthday in my life that bothered me. 26. Just like you talked about, I was closer to 30 than I was 20. Didn't feel like I was where I had planned on being at that point in my life. That birthday depressed me. The other 36, 46 didn't bother me. I just basically had succumbed to the fact that I was old.
26. Don't you have to get off your parents' insurance too? I'm not looking forward to that. I've got a couple more years. So
oh my goodness, that is so adult of you, in which it's impressive and yet so sad all at the same time.
I was long off of the parents' insurance by the time I was 26 because I started working
Yeah,
and
right.
And it was a different world then. Here's the thing. When you got a job, you got benefits.
Yeah, this is a
30
wild
plus
time
years ago.
in our nation's history.
It was
right?
an amazing thing. You pretty much, when you got a full-time job, you were going to get benefits that actually were going to take care of your medical bills.
Yeah, I've got this in my scope for much different reasons. But
There's no doubt. And we know what kind of benefits you have working for us, Trent. Those are
exactly
absolutely
nothing.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Buddy Bob is like, what do you mean you don't know our anniversary? You did a reading at the wedding and everything. I go, I know. I remember the ceremony. I don't know when it was.
These pictures of Matt Patricia on the sideline, I can't get enough of this.
You really don't like him, do you?
Oh, I can't stand him. And Mark, I had the shirts with the beard and the headset and the pencil. Like I had several of them. Not anymore.
Goodwill?
I think I burned them. Trying to get rid of the demons.
So, production meeting, we're talking about Matt Patricia, and the guy's talking about, all his good stuff. The Patriots and the 2 Super Bowls he was D coordinator for and what have you. And I raised my hand. Anybody's got any? Raised my hand in the back. I go, yeah, I do the show with 2 people from Michigan. I go, they'd like you to talk about the stint in Detroit. I go, you seem to be glossing over that. And Spida goes, yeah, his last game as D coordinator with the Patriots, by the way, the Eagles scored 41 in the Super Bowl. Don't gloss over that either.
And yeah, Adam in the Twitch chat room says he's got that stupid pencil while holding a Microsoft Surface tablet. Not only that, it's either that or it's laminated play sheets that you can't write with pencil on. Bozo. I'll never forget. Now you got me going. He used to ride a 4-wheeler around the practice field because he's just lazy and doesn't want to walk. He'd ride a quad. There are pictures. Dan Campbell's doing up downs with the team, and Matt Patricia used to ride around on a 4-wheeler, telling reporters to sit up straight in the presser. Jeez.
We were doing a show when that happened, and you should have heard us. Okay. Mark's like, David, how would you have handled that? I go, oh, I would have been escorted out. I would have said, I'll tell you what, you worry about you, I'll worry about me. You worry about coaching the team, I'll worry about how I sit.
I was mind blown when that happened. Hey, can you do me a favor? Just sit up a little. Have a little respect for this process. It's like, what?
I feel badly for Patricia last night in this sense. He takes his best corner. He puts him on DK Metcalf the whole drive. DK beats him. Starts catching passes after he hadn't caught any the whole second half. Then on the game-winning touchdown, he's got his best corner on the number 3 wideout, and he gets beat. Well, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
He's got safety help over on the other side because that's where Lockett and Metcalf are. I mean, by the way, how much pressure the Eagles get on that final drive?
None. Why? I don't understand the Eagles' last interception though. I didn't think it was needed to throw bombs there when you only need 3 to tie the game.
Well, I was surprised, especially since
they had timeout.
The corner had
a timeout there.
I think they had like 2 left.
They had 2 left.
Then it's even more of an abomination of a play call. You could have played over the middle. You got one over the middle, and then you got a timeout again.
15, and they needed 15 yards to, be in his range.
Sit up straight. Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. John Fanta, Fox Sports, thefield68.com. He will join us to talk college hoops. Yep. Last week, we talked with the radio voice of the Orlando Magic. This week, a little college basketball. Come on now. Need to diversify the portfolio. It's not all football all the time. It's just close. That's all. John Fanta coming. Dramatic win at home. For the moment, it puts Dallas in first in the NFC East. If the Eagles and Cowboys, we figured all this out this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we did the work for you. Eagles and Cowboys win out. Eagles are going to win the tiebreaker. What tiebreaker is it again, Mark?
Tiebreaker number 5. It is strength of victory, right?
Yes. Strength of victory, which is not how many points you beat a team by. It is how many wins your opponents had that you beat. And the fact of the matter is that the Eagles, teams that they've beaten, and then, if they win their last 3, and then Dallas, if they win their last 3, add it up, and Philly's going to be at least 1 win. At least 1 win ahead of Dallas. Therefore, Philly will win the tiebreaker. However, there are a lot of Michiganders who listen to this show, up along that whole I-75 thing. If the Lions win out, they will have the tiebreaker over the Eagles. Because remember, if the Lions win out, they'll beat Dallas. So that's why we mentioned they'll have the tiebreaker on the Eagles, because they'll certainly have the tiebreaker on Dallas because they beat them head-to-head. But they don't play the Eagles this year. But it will come down to, I believe, tiebreaker number 3, which is common opponents. Eagles win out, Lions win out. They will have played 6 games against common opponents. The Lions will have gone 5-1. The Eagles will have gone 4-2. Hence, the Lions know if they win out, they're no worse than the 2 seed. significance, obviously, in theory, easier first-round playoff opponent, but also you would then host the divisional game against said 3 seed. So there you go.
I'm sorry. I just need a way that the Lions play the Rams in the first round of the playoffs. I need that to happen.
That is torture for all the Lions fans in your life, that Matthew Stafford could not win a playoff game while playing in Detroit, but then in theory he could come to Detroit and win a playoff game?
David, this is just Mark. This is another Mark wants chaos moment. Mark wants to see me over here squirm when Matthew Stafford walks into Ford Field.
I want you at my house to watch that game with
Okay,
you.
if that happens, I'll watch it with you.
I want to watch the game with Trent with that going on.
And I have to admit, sometimes you need a younger person like this in your life. Okay, you don't need them to speak. You just need them because we all think that that we're twice as their age. We're smarter than them. We've experienced more. We'll tell you the ways of the world. Don't you tell us. That's our attitude, Mark. But it's nice to see the young sports fan that all in the same game. He'll have the chest sticking out, cocky, confident, and then 12 minutes later in the fetal position. I mean, you need that person in your life. Go, wow, I used to act like that. Man, that looks.
And you're going to go through all of that on Saturday or on Sunday when they play the Vikings, because it's the game to win the division. So you will be an emotional basket case.
Yeah.
For the game against the Vikings. Are you an emotional basket case for most Lions games?
Every single one. Every single one. And it doesn't matter if I'm confident or not. It's always, they usually deliver on the roller coaster. I mean, it's good or bad.
Mark, I just realized why it is that he's so optimistic about the Pistons, even though they've now lost 24 in a row and they're 2-25. It's because he experienced 0-16 with the Lions. And my guess is if he had a Hard Rock Bet app in his life at that point in time, you would have bet the Lions to win, 10, 11 times that year?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I have put it this way. I got quite a few futures that are looking really good if the Lions can win one more game.
Don't care. Okay. But see, that's why, Mark. That's why. See, he's gone through this before with his football team, and he's like, I thought we were going to win every week. I just can't believe it. At 0-15, I thought we were going to Lambeau to win.
We're a better team than that.
Can't believe it. I mean, we played all these teams tough. Can't believe we lost all these games. When they were 0-13, but they were hosting somebody. Well, we're at home. Oh, yeah, we don't suck. Well, we don't suck there. I mean, so, all right. And by the way, that's a little side bet. Pistons have 5 games left in the calendar year of 2023. Will the Pistons get a win before 2024? Just, have a little fun. If we had a poll question, that could have been a poll question today.
Trent did bet the Pistons on the money line last night.
Well, okay, so real quick, I forgot that I cashed out for $1.31. It was the third quarter, and they cut it to 6. I had a cash out option. I took it.
Love that I really appreciate this. It drives you nuts at the little amount of money that Trent bets, because he doesn't have any money. Therefore, he really shouldn't be betting any money.
Right. No, but it infuriates me that, he's making $7 today. Okay. And he's betting the Pistons to win, not cover, win. Cover. We have to, drug test him. To win. Okay. We need to send him away to a facility. I mean, come on.
But I just love the fact that he's betting nonstop and his total bets are less money than I carry around with me at all times.
$2 here, $3 there.
Listen, I know it's a long way off, just throwing this out there. Is Monday Night Football next week a Super Bowl preview?
It might be.
Baltimore, San Francisco?
Right now, if I were to give you San Francisco or the field in the NFC, I think most people would take the Niners.
Absolutely.
We can't say the same thing about the AFC, but you think 50% of it's there. We've watched them dismantle everybody that's good in the NFC.
Now, what will be looming over Baltimore, whether they enter as the 1 or whatever seed? What will be looming over Baltimore? Lamar and Harbaugh together have 1 playoff win. 1. And they've been the 1 seed before entering the playoffs in Lamar's MVP year. And he and they were awful that night against the Titans, like 6 turnovers, something ridiculous. And Tannehill and Derrick Henry went into Baltimore and just, got out of there with a W and went to the AFC Championship game. Another time where Mahomes and the Chiefs stayed home and somebody pulled the upset so that they didn't have to go on the road. And so the Chiefs got to host the Titans in the AFC title game instead of going to Baltimore. That was their first Super Bowl.
Baltimore poised to be the 1. They've got work to do, obviously, with the Niners and the Dolphins still ahead of the schedule. But because of Miami's hiccup, they can afford to lose to the Niners and still beat the Dolphins, and they'll be just fine.
Dolphins, to assure being the 1, by the way, have to win out because the Dolphins can win. They'd win the East if they beat Dallas and Baltimore back-to-back. And if you're saying, well, then they'd have the tiebreaker on Baltimore. Yes, they would. However, if they then lose to the Bills, besides the fact that they'll probably get Buffalo in the playoffs, if Kansas City runs the table, Kansas City with that Dolphins loss would catch Miami. And what did Kansas City do to Miami earlier this year overseas? They beat them 21-14. So right now, if you're a Dolphin fan, and I know this is, heady stuff, the 1 seed in the Miami Dolphins. Wow. Can't believe I said that. Have we ever said that? We've been doing the show 17 years.
No, we've never said it.
So that's the landscape right now. How about the college basketball landscape? They've had a hell of a first 5 weeks. John Fanta next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, is this a bad look? Angel Cabrera is officially welcome back to the PGA Tour after serving 2 years in prison for violence against 2 of his former girlfriends. So, in other words, you can be convicted of felony domestic violence and come back to the PGA Tour more quickly than if you join the LIV.
Yeah, that ain't a great look.
Is that a bad look? Just wondering. By the way, if you're the Masters, I mean, former champion.
Yeah, didn't he finish second one year too when Bubba Watson won it?
Yeah, lost in a playoff to Bubba. No, Logic Man, absolutely not. No, I desperately try to get to bed as soon as possible. I try to get as much sleep as I can before the show. It's usually, the goal is 4 hours. And I got a really good 4 hours last night. I had to walk back from the stadium about 1.25 miles. It was raining. That was fun. It was light rain. It was a drizzle. But most of the walk was uphill. Whoo-wee.
Jess, welcome to the Twitch chat room. I think you're the first Seattle Seahawk fan I've ever seen in there, so good for you.
Congratulations.
I think the Pistons could beat Purdue.
They absolutely could. Cade Cunningham scored 43 points last night, and it didn't even matter at all.
He -6 against Purdue.
5.5.
I don't know who they'd put on Edie. Beef stew.
It would be funny if the Cowboys lose 3 in a row to see how the narrative would change on them. The sky would be falling if they lose to Miami and the Pistons, or the Lions, rather.
Well, especially if they lost at home to the Lions, where they were
Right.
unbeaten at home.
And I mean, if the Lions can run the football, they should be able to look at what the Bills did and replicate it. How about Fanta? What's your name again? Trent? Nice to meet you. He's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be my favorite guest.
Oh, he's awesome. High energy.
He's very good at what he does, too.
Do you watch him at all doing Big East?
I know who he is, yeah.
He's very good.
And I love the Big East.
I do,
John,
too. I play games at
conference.
6:30.
Trent, you should subscribe to thefieldof68.com.
I probably will right after this.
They're all over college hoops. And they do a very good job of it. Talk about every conference, they cover the sport. They don't just cover the blue bloods.
Yeah,
they cover women
right
too.
up my alley. Love that. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, our final segment along the network, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com, the Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour for our loyal 239 audience. Pat Kerwin, Seth Everett to join us on the show tomorrow. John Fanta is kind enough to join us right now, a rising star in college basketball media world, whether it's anchor desk reporting or doing play-by-play for Fox, and he's part of the best damn group covering college basketball that there is, thefield68.com, thefield68.com. John joins us. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at John_Fanta, Fanta. John, it's David and Mark. It's been a while. Hope you and the family are well. How are you?
David and Mark, I like what you did there with X and Twitter. That's pretty impressive. I'm doing well. Happy holidays to you and your families, gentlemen.
Well,
And
John
the very
and I,
same to you, John.
Yeah, John, you and I are, we're beefy. So we thought we'd come up with a food reference for Twix. Run with it. Okay. We're trying to make it popular. We're not popular. You are. Run with it.
I'm going to. I don't run much, but I'll run with that.
Well, that's one of the main reasons. That's one of the reasons we love you, but certainly it's for the college basketball. John, you look at it, the sports talk world, we center around football, but college basketball's been off to a great start. Just give us your quick impressions of the start of the season. Purdue's been off to a great start. Kentucky, North Carolina was a great game the other night. College basketball has already delivered in the early part of the season.
Yes, it has, guys. It really has. The state of this sport is a healthy one. And I'll tell you why. First and foremost, you're finding that star power is staying around in college hoops. So we have Zach Edey at Purdue. We have Hunter Dickinson, who transferred from Michigan to Kansas, and the Jayhawks #2 in the country behind the Boilermakers. Caleb Love is still around. He transferred from North Carolina to Arizona, and he has helped Arizona being one of the best teams in the country. At UConn, you have some recognizable faces between Donovan Clingan and Tristan Newton and Alex Caravan. Here's the point. For the really good to great college players who may not be able to have a guaranteed NBA contract / success rate, the best move for them right now is to stay in college and make bucks, and make a lot of bucks. And guess what's happening? That's good for college basketball. And it's not just happening at the high majors. It's even happening in mid-major programs. The sport has parity. It has superstar power. And I think right now, the teams at the top of the country, you could make an argument for 5, 6, even 7 different teams to be #1. And that's really good for college hoops. #1's already changed hands a couple times. Purdue makes the statement over Arizona over the weekend. Guys, I think the most interesting storyline is what you just mentioned, Kentucky. John Calipari has not been to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament in a half decade. That should change this year. His team is really, really special. And Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham, Aaron Bradshaw, those 3 names, you'll all hear them on the stage in Brooklyn come June for the NBA draft. But they've got business on their minds now, and I really like what Kentucky's been able to do thus far. I am buying them this time around.
Terrific game and win against North Carolina over the weekend. John Fanta, Fox, and thefield68.com, thefield68.com. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at John_Fanta, Fanta. All right. Why are things different with Purdue this year than last? Is there something about this team? They were susceptible to athleticism last year. They haven't been susceptible to it this year. Why?
Because their guards are another year older. I think when they lost to FDU last March, Fairleigh Dickinson, the 16th seed in the NCAA tournament, just the second time we've seen a one fall to the 16, with Virginia being the other back in 2018 to UMBC. I think when that happened, it automatically made us say Matt Painter can't do it, Purdue can't do it. And look, until they do it in March, they're always going to be subject to that criticism. But it's almost as if we forgot that Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, their starting backcourt duo, they were freshmen. Freshmen make mistakes. That's why we haven't seen the one-and-done team win a national championship in recent years. It's why you got to stay old. Well, those guys got another year older. They were already sensational last year for the most part. And Zach Edey's a given every time he steps on the floor. But they made a transfer addition from Southern Illinois, Lance Jones, who has proven to be a really nice addition for their team. Miles Colvin's a freshman who I think gives them a shooting presence and can just help complement things. They're a little bit deeper, but they're seasoned. By going through the lows, I think you sometimes play looser. Think about it this way for Purdue. They can't experience anything worse than getting embarrassed on national TV by a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. Once you've gone through that, it's one of those things where you've quickly seen it all. And I sense that out of their team this year. They're unflappable, they're connected, and they have a guaranteed 25 points every single night from a 7'4" monster, who, by the way, I believe is getting totally disrespected by a large portion of people because people just say Zach Edey's big. He's big. He's not talented. Come on. Look at the history, the last 20, 25 years of 7'2", 7'3", 7'4" big men. Ask Taco Fall what kind of stats he put up. It's not to insult any other bigs. It's just to say right now, guys, we have a talent who's going. Zach Edey is going to be the first back-to-back National Player of the Year in college basketball since Ralph Sampson.
Well, that'll stop a few of us in our tracks. Mark, one thing just want to throw out there. Remember when Virginia lost in a 116 the next year, what'd they do? They won the national title. I wonder if maybe Purdue suffered the 116, maybe if this is the year for Matt Painter and company.
I want to go back to Kentucky too, John, because you mentioned that team, and I've watched them play a couple of times. They've looked really good. And the one thing that I've listened to commentators talk about is how much this team likes basketball. And it seems like a simple thing, but that John Cal had to kind of coach guys to play hard, and that this team, he doesn't have to do that. He can just go back to coaching basketball. And that seems like that would be a tremendous difference to me.
Yes, it is a tremendous difference. I really do think that he's got a group that fits him, that fits his DNA, that fits what he wants to do, which is drive and kick, dribble penetration, transition play. Look, they've got a luxury of riches at the guard spot. DJ Wagner keeps getting better. He had 14, 6 rebounds, 5 assists in the win over North Carolina over the weekend. And the fact, guys, that they could bring in Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd off the bench, the way that Cal has structured things. Dillingham and Shepherd have been two of the best 3 or 4 freshmen in the country, and they're bringing them in off the bench. Antonio Reeves is a high-level shot maker who's a veteran. Trey Mitchell's come in and added length, but now they got their bigs. Aaron Bradshaw is a really special prospect, and he's a guy who can run the floor as well. Cal, as much as Oscar Tshiebwe was great, he was. Tshiebwe was playing a way that doesn't best suit Cal's best team. Does that make sense? They were getting away from their total DNA, and that Tshiebwe, he was a traditional post player who you had to post up back to the basket, back him in, or offensive rebound and put it back. Now, this team's more structured to run, space the floor, knock down threes. When they get hot, you're not stopping them. They are a momentum-based type of team. Now, they did lose at home to UNC Wilmington. They had a scare against St. Joe's. So, look, this team has to focus. They can't just get up for the big games. I do think they'll lose on the road more than a few times in the SEC. But I think that when it comes to NCAA tournament time, this group should be poised to go on a run. Nobody is going to out-talent Kentucky. Now it's time for John Calipari to remind us why he's one of the best coaches in the country. It's time for him to back it up with how he can develop a team in season. This is where you did the recruiting. Now it's time to build your team and evolve it.
John, FAU returning almost everybody from a team that goes to the Final Four. You don't see that very often with a quote-unquote mid-major. Preseason top 10, they're still in the top 20. First off, and they've scheduled, very aggressively, and I actually applaud the schools that were willing to play them. A, your thoughts on FAU the year after, and B, is there somebody that you think is this year's FAU?
Well, my thoughts on FAU are that there's no question they can go on another deep NCAA tournament run. And when people say, well, how deep? It's straw dependent, okay? You sometimes have to catch the right break in the NCAA tournament. You don't know who you're playing, so how far do you think you're going? If you have a bad matchup, and I'll tell you, what would give FAU problems is size. size on the interior that gets Vladimir Golden, who's a fantastic post player. You got to get him in foul trouble. Illinois got him in foul trouble. Illinois won the game over the Owls at Madison Square Garden. The key for FAU is being able to keep Golden in the game, and then it's for either John L. Davis or Elijah Martin to be in a rhythm. When those guys are in a rhythm, they've got the pieces between Witherspoon and Nick Boyd. I really like their complement of players. I think Dusty May runs great stuff offensively. Guys, they can really shoot the basketball. Their late-game shot clock execution is excellent. So I love this team still. I don't feel any differently about them in terms of their hopes. You know, anytime you make a Final Four, right, now that's the expectation when you bring back the majority of your team. I would just say this. If you're in Boca Raton, you're in the state of Florida, and you're interested in this storyline, enjoy it. Follow it now. You know, there might not be a team like this ever again that does what they're doing back-to-back years at a mid-major level in Florida. And so this is really cool. It's a special, special story. Dusty May won't be there forever. I think he could be the next head coach at Louisville. So I really like this Florida Atlantic program. You asked me who could be the Florida Atlantic this year. Great question. I'll give you a couple of teams. Watch out for Richard Pitino and New Mexico. Okay? He's got a kid named Jalen House that I love. Their backcourt's excellent. They got Jamal Mashburn Jr. Yeah, that name should ring a bell. Look out for New Mexico. Look out for St. Joe's. St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10 from out of Philadelphia. They have a kid named Eric Reynolds who will get drafted in the summer. St. Joe's is playing really good ball. They're near upset of Kentucky. That was not a fluke. And they beat Villanova for the first time on the road in 20 years. So St. Joe's, New Mexico, and keep an eye on Princeton out of the Ivy League. They went to the Sweet 16 last year. They're capable of going on a run this year.
What about the Canes, John? They have a couple of big games this year. They didn't fare so well against Colorado or Kentucky. What do you make of the University of Miami?
Yeah, they're not defending at all. And when you lose a couple of key pieces offensively, right, like Isaiah Wong, an all-time Miami great, like Jordan Miller, you've got to make up for that. And they brought in some good pieces. I love the addition of Matthew Cleveland. And I think the world of Nigel Pack. And I still like their team. But, guys, I think everybody thought that they would just plug and play, that they would lose a couple of those all-time greats after going to back-to-back Elite Eights and a Final Four last year, and they'd just be fine. You know, what Larinaga has done is exceptional, but it's really hard to sustain that at the level they've been at the last 2 years. So they've swallowed some lumps because they've really struggled on the defensive end of the floor. And when you're not as when you don't have as much of an offensive identity that's a certainty, like they had last year. Last year, you knew they could walk into a gym and they were scoring 80, 85 points. When that doesn't come as easily, you then got to make up for it with a little bit on the defensive end. They've got to get something going on the defensive end of the floor. Because right now, they're not giving any resistance when they're playing elite competition. So I like Norchad Omier. I still think this is absolutely a tournament team. A team that, look, if they catch fire, of course they can win multiple games. But they're so poor defensively right now, today, that it's hard to trust them.
Larinaga's teams get better as the season goes on. He'll get him to play D. He's a Hall of Fame caliber coach. John Fanta is a Hall of Fame caliber guest as far as we're concerned. Fox, play-by-play, studio work, sidelines, also part of the field-of-68.com. If you have not checked it out, no one covers college basketball better than the field-of-68.com. He's John Fanta. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at John_Fanta, F-A-N-T-A. John, all the best to you and the family. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hopefully we can do this again.
Thank you, guys. And for those Hoops junkies out there, I'm calling number 6 Marquette at Providence tonight, 8:30 FS1. Rhode Island should be rocking. Marquette has Tyler Kolick, who's from Rhode Island, and he feels scarred that he wasn't recruited by the local schools. So he's trying to make a statement tonight on FS1. I'd encourage any of you Hoops junkies to check that out. should be a great game in the Big East. Thanks for having me, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
John Fanta joining us here on Miller and Moulton. That's the end of the syndicated portion of our program. We call it the bonus hour. It's brought to you by Jason and Todd of the Diamond District. It's next on Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I love the fact that he gave New Mexico some love because I love the Mountain West. Mountain West hoops.
Surprise, no love for Colorado State. They're 10-1.
Yeah, that's.
That means you've watched CBS Sports Network.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. There are seven people listening who have found CBS Sports Network.
I will tell you, David, there's nothing like YouTube TV is a different whole thing when you cut the cord because you're not watching networks anymore. Like literally, I go on and it just like last night, when I go on, it tells me, oh, Michigan State's on. It tells me, and all of a sudden, once you put a college basketball game on, you go to multi-view. I got 4 of them, and it's like, oh, it doesn't. Networks do not matter. It is really the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a noticeable difference too because it just goes in one ear out the other when they're coming out of break.
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't think about it anymore. But the Mountain West is like all defense, all athleticism. It's like the polar opposite of the ACC. It's so fun.
will be interesting if Shaka, because Marquette's still the little bit under the radar. He gets to play the underdog card a little bit at times, but they could be a 1-2 seed.
I was going to say it's going to be tough playing underdog when you're ranked 5th in the country.
Exactly.
Whatever the hell they are,
exactly.
Right?
And so when he's a 2 seed in the tournament, he lost a 2-15 game as head coach of Texas. So it'll be.
He's another one that he just tournament time. It's him, Matt Painter, Rick Barnes.
Well, once again, he took VCU to a Final Four. And I think one other time he took them to a Sweet 16. But at Texas, they underachieved. Rick Barnes, by the way, never bet on Rick Barnes in the tournament. Ever.
I do not.
Ever. I don't care how good Tennessee is this year. And they should be good. I'm going to see Purdue Thursday. I'm doing the Jacksonville at Purdue game.
So what, do you get home and turn and go?
Yeah. I land at 10:30 tonight in Jacksonville. So I'll get to bed at
plenty of
midnight.
time for that nice dinner. Where are you flying through? Atlanta?
Yeah.
How long you got?
Let's see. Hour and a half.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Just like that. Time is flying. On this Tuesday, it is the last Tuesday before the big fella arrives. Christmas, that's where Todd and Jason, the Diamond District, come in. Just in case the big fella's not going to get to you. A lot of people, a lot of things to do. Too many of you waited till the last minute. So, you need a little help. That's where Todd and Jason, the Diamond District, bada bing, bada boom. Take care of you. Right, Mark?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there in about an hour and a half.
I said you should hold firm. You two made a deal. You were not going to get many gifts. You weren't going to spend a lot of money on each other. She sandbagged you. Okay? If you cave, that means she can continuously do this. You make a statement this year, you're a jerk one time. But then it never happens.
I'm a jerk more than one time in this relationship.
I just meant around Christmas.
Oh.
Okay.
I see. I wasn't really picking up what you were putting down there. I probably should have let that marinate a little bit before I admitted guilt.
I wasn't talking about the other 51 weeks. I was just talking Christmas. You're a jerk around Christmas.
Well, it is such a dilemma because we are going to her mother's
right
for Christmas. And her brother and her dad's long passed, so we're going to see her family. Not here in Florida. We're going to go spend time with her family, of which to say that I didn't have a say-so on this is an understatement.
Right.
I was told to buy tickets.
Yeah. Okay.
I was guilted I'm coming back on the 26th. I was guilted because I'm not staying until the 30th.
Well, I'm, sorry.
Someone's got to take care of the dog.
And Miller and Moulton. Come on now.
Yeah, that doesn't fly, though.
No.
Given the fact that I'm doing the show Thursday from Pittsburgh, or Friday from Pittsburgh, rather, and Tuesday from Pittsburgh. So what's the difference of doing it the whole week there? I mean, it is technology and all. She's caught on.
Plus, if Trent's making $7 a show, Miller and Moulton are making $12. So, right. I could, why do you have to fly back for that? Right.
This is that time of the show that we want to thank the Diamond District and welcome any and all sponsors who are willing to come aboard.
Yes. So that we can make $14-15 a show in 2024. That'd be fantastic.
Deals for you in the new year.
Oh, but I'm just saying, okay, and Ed's got my back. I don't know if Ed does in the Twitch chat room. I don't know if he's being sarcastic, but he's like, yeah, Mark, go ahead. Teach her a lesson. No, not a lesson. We're not teaching lessons here. We're just, a deal's a deal. We're drawing the line. That's all. We made a deal. I'm honoring the deal. That's all. You broke the deal, not my fault.
I've been thinking about it. I'm not going to lie, David. I have thought long and hard about teaching her a lesson.
How about this? How about this?
I think it's a bad idea.
You go visit Todd and Jason. You get the gift. You hold on to it. Okay? You go through with, hey, a deal's a deal. And, you get her box of, Jolly Ranchers and, just subscription to some gymnastics magazine that she loves. And then that's it, because that's the deal you two made. And then when you're about to be kicked out of the house, you go, oh, and if that you sense that, oh, this didn't work, you go, oh, wait, I forgot. And then you come back over the top, bang.
I like
it. You can try it. You can try it both ways.
I like it.
See if it works.
I'm very nervous.
And if you sense that it's not, you just reconvene also. About an hour later, too. You let it ruminate, though, for an hour. You let the mother-in-law think, wow, my son-in-law is a blank. Okay? You let the wife think, damn, my husband is a blank. Okay? And the whole room, and it's just right there. It's thick. I mean, you could see it. It's like fog. Okay? And then you go, oh, wait, guys, hold on a second. And then boom!
What's this present under the tree?
Right. In fact, you could maybe stash it in the middle of the tree. Did you ever do that? Like you stash it like in the middle of the tree and you go, hey, honey, come over here. What is this? Is this a childhood ornament? What is this? Wait. Huh. Could you get me that? I think Santa
Sure
left
beats
you a
the box
present.
of Jolly Ranchers and the subscription to that gymnast magazine.
She made a deal. I mean, I know the deal was like $35 you guys agreed to spend on each other, not including the card. Right. So she broke the deal. It's on her.
It is, but I don't want it on me, if you know what I mean. That's what I'm worried about.
I will say there's a few people in the chat room that go, yeah, listen, I'm all for Mark sticking to the deal, but I guess the deal was probably a little more than a box of Jolly Ranchers and a subscription to a magazine. Oh, I don't know. How about this? You and I are getting inundated. How about if you get her a subscription to The Athletic? Man, I'll tell you. Name the places that you're just all getting inundated here in December. Get this, gift card this, renew this, subscription this. Man.
You'd think there's a holiday coming or something.
Man, you guys are all over me more than the crematorium is for me to make my plans.
This is where Trent's in good shape because he doesn't have to buy anybody anything. The fact that he's going to see his parents on Christmas, that's gift enough. He gets away with this completely. Not so much on our end, but that's all right.
They're like meeting in the middle, right?
Yeah. His brothers live in Nashville, so they're all convening in Nashville.
Oh, well, nobody's moved to Nashville. There's nobody there.
Town's empty.
Yeah, it's really zip in, zip out. It's like going to Wisconsin. So, all right. Hope you enjoyed John Fanta. If you missed him last segment, all right, go to floridasportsnetwork.com and download what you missed. Get you up to date. And we didn't even get to Carolina, Duke. We mentioned Kansas, but we didn't talk about Kansas. They're only the number 2 team in the country. Could be number 1. We didn't even mention the defending national champs, UConn, who look really good.
Do they ever? Just whacked Gonzaga over the weekend.
So did you hear what Hurley said after the game? Something interesting. He said, I was, product of toughness, and built my teams. We're tough. We were physical. And I'd lost early in the tournament a couple times. And I realized, hey, nothing wrong with toughness, nothing wrong with physical. You know what you really need? You got to be able to shoot. You need shooters. And what is it, Mark? It's a simple stat. We touched on it early in our co-hosting careers together, all right, 75 points or more a game. That's why what Virginia did was the outlier. Basically, to be a legit national championship contender, you have to average 75 points or more a game. Period. End of sentence.
It's really simple. In today's game, where so much is relying on the three-point shot, if you don't get to that number, you're not winning a championship.
So if there's a team, it just could be a mid-major team, could be a big boy. Just late in the season, just take a look.
It's why the Rock Fight Big Ten Conference has not fared well in tournaments.
It really is. I mean, you're Spartans, right? Last Big Ten basketball championship?
Correct. 2000. Maryland won it in 03, I believe, but they weren't in the Big Ten at the time.
But we count it.
We need it.
Tonight in the Big Ten Network, Maryland, a championship season.
Right. It was 02. Juan Dixon, Steve Blake. It's true. It is on Big Ten Network, but they were in the ACC when they won it.
Followed by UCLA basketball, a Big Ten tradition.
Right.
That will never sound right, ever.
Not to Chip Kelly either.
By the way, even if you count UCLA, their last title is 95. So, they still don't beat Sparty. Same with Washington, Oregon, USC. They haven't won a title, so it's still Sparty.
That 2020 year, it would have been Michigan State and Florida State all the way in the final.
There's just poor Leonard Hamilton.
His best team.
Yeah.
Patrick Williams went number 4 overall in the draft that year. They had a great physical team.
Yeah. They had
were
a
long.
run there.
They could score.
They were built for
They
it.
were a really good team.
Yeah. He had like a 4-year nucleus there. They went to the second week just about every time, made it an Elite 8, but that was his team, the pandemic year. No doubt about it. We jumped on Florida State that year. Trent, you weren't with us. We jumped on Miami midseason last year. All right. I'm willing to bet we said the Canes were going to the Final Four before anybody in Miami did.
Who are you jumping on this year?
Just a little too early. Let me get like 3 weeks into conference play.
Okay.
Just let me, also some guys start getting hurt and or coming back from injuries right around now too, after Christmas break. I try to ignore in and around Christmas. Like, I'm not going to pay attention to the next couple of weeks.
No, because they're not insignificant, but it's just a different style. There's no students around. The holidays, it's just a weird time of year in college basketball.
Also, talking to coaches, they say that the kids, they're tired. We've been going at it hard for 3 months, and they need a break, and they miss their families, and they need to get away. And then we'll come back and it'll be conference play and we can get them dialed in again. So I will say we brought up FAU to John Fanta. FAU is playing at FGCU a week from Saturday. I mean, so you get a chance to see them now. It's the same night the Cowboys and the Lions are playing. And many of you are like, yeah, I'm missing that. But I mean, if for whatever reason, that's not a must-see TV for you. 7 o'clock at Alico Arena that night. FAU.
God, I wish the game was at 5.
I know. I would go if it was.
Well, my suggestion to them would be, can you move it to 6?
Flex it.
Okay, can you move it to 6?
They
Because
won't.
the Cowboys and the Lions are at 8. And you can get people, but students aren't going to be there. That's another thing. There's plenty of tickets available. I mean, it's a tough
depending on what happens tonight, there could even be more tickets available.
Well, they're playing an 0-11 Georgia Southern tonight. Georgia Southern and Detroit Mercy are winless. FGCU at Georgia Southern tonight. That's a pressure game for Chambers and the boys.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. the Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Adam, let me go check the slate. Hang on. Not that you'd want to copy what I'm doing because my formula has not been great lately.
Oh, FGCU down to a 3.5-point favorite.
FGCU's leading scorer, I think, is out. John Rothstein just took to Twix to say Isaiah Thompson is out for tonight's game. Thompson averages 14 points a game.
Three and a half's the number.
It was 4.5 yesterday.
3.5 on the site.
I'll tell you what, Trent.
What's up?
You want to play a team with a lot of losses on the money line? I'd bet Georgia Southern before I'd bet the Pistons. No, seriously. FGCU's shorthanded. He's not playing any of Fly's guys.
Little linguiça there, KW. I see what you're talking about. Oh, actually, that's Portuguese. Sorry, not Hungarian. I'm a Portuguese sausage guy, KW. But I do like my chorizo.
Okay, Adam. Vanderbilt minus 3.5 against Western Carolina. Love that. Love Jerry Stackhouse. Florida minus 3.5 over Michigan. That's a fun one.
By the way, did you see how I lost on Michigan State Oakland last night?
I got it at 15.5. So
right.
Yeah.
So, and it was when we talked about it on air, it was 15.5. So Sparty's got it covered. And then Oakland makes a run to cut it to 15 with under a minute to go.
Yep.
And this is Michigan State's last possession.
Jeremy
They
Fairs,
got
baby.
they got the scrubs in, the whole deal. And this kid hits a mid-range jumper to make it 17. So now Oakland's got final shot. And this is going to be it because if Sparty grabs a rebound, they're just going to dribble out the clock. And the Oakland kid misses a three. So once again, final 30 seconds. Garbage time ain't garbage. So Michigan State with the win in the cover.
I wish I was around for the glory days of the Big East. I'm a huge Georgetown guy. I love Pat Ewing. They're playing Butler tonight.
6:30. I love my. I've got too many things with my daughter, but I love the 6:30, 8:30 doubleheader. Love them.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Good, bad, ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when final thoughts, some predictions, all coming up. We said big game tonight for FGCU just from the embarrassment factor. I mean, obviously the season's not going well for the men. What are they, 3-9? But, they're a small conference team. I mean, the only thing that matters usually is the conference play. I mean, they could be a disaster in November, December and still have a really good year.
Yeah, they could, but it's one thing to put up some of these schedules when teams go play 7-8 guarantee games to pay for their whole athletic department's budget and go 3-9 in non-conference play. They've gone 3-9 in non-conference play with games that they should have been much more competitive in than they were.
Well, they've been favored in more games than they haven't been. They played 3 guaranteed games, which are guaranteed money and usually guaranteed losses. But they've already played 2 non-division ones, and next week they'll play a third. So, FGCU's got at Georgia Southern tonight. Georgia Southern's 0-11. That's just a bad look. Even though Georgia Southern's played some teams tough, they lost a close one to Jacksonville, who's 8-4, and a couple of others. But, man, you lose to a winless team.
They're not.
Oh, boy.
They're not going to. I understand the angst. No, they'll win this game.
Isaiah Thompson, their leading scorer or second leading scorer, I think he's their leading scorer, 14 a game. He ain't playing tonight. There's a couple of guys who haven't been playing lately. Don't know what their status is. If they're playing, if they're still on the team, don't know. I mean, the rotation seems real short lately. Spread's down to 3.5. What little money's being bet on this game is all being bet on Georgia Southern because the line was in the 5s a couple days ago and 4.5 at this time yesterday. This is just an embarrassment factor tonight. They got to win, man.
Yes, they do. A couple of texts that we receive in the last little bit that I thought, David, you were challenging me to hold firm on my gift giving with my wife. Tim texted the show and said, I'm no longer a married man, but playing games with Christmas doesn't sound like a wise marital choice.
What games? Yeah, I'm being a man of my word. That's all. She made a deal. Honor it.
And then this texter just says Trent will maybe give his parents the gift of getting off their insurance in the next couple of years.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, he'll have to work somewhere other than Miller and Moulton. Hello. But hey, listen, just so you know, and Mom and Dad, I know you're listening. All right. And I appreciate the birthday wishes earlier. But listen, we told him not to take this job. Just so you know.
I told his dad for him not to take this job.
Right.
I've known his father since I was 17 years old. His dad called me, and I said, don't. Tell him not to.
And we needed him.
Right.
And, you know, he's good at it. And we still said, don't do it. Don't. I mean, we hardly know you, but we care about you too much. Don't take the job.
Don't know what I was doing in Nashville. This blows that out of the water. I have a smile on my face every day here.
You do?
I love this place already.
Wow.
He's helping me. And by helping me, he's even helping you, David, because Trent may not realize that, but in this building, our reputation
is not good.
I have started to figure that out. I'm not gonna lie.
and he's in the building when no one else is there, and yet he still gets the sense that, wow, they think you guys are toe jam.
But he also gets 20 to 30 minutes after I leave when he's still finishing up. Then a lot can go on.
That's true. When they can let him know what they really think of us.
Right.
Right.
And I try. I you know it, David. When you're here, you see it. I try very hard. Put a smile on my face. Say hello to everybody. Pass them in the hallway. How you doing?
Yep.
But they can see through mine. Trent, it's natural. I mean, he scared the hell out of the poor lady in the room next door a couple mornings ago. Trent was a little bit later than normal. Not late, but he was just a little bit later than normal. So I was already here. And when he barked the good morning at her, she jumped out of her damn chair and nearly hit her head on the ceiling.
Right. I mean, she's our age, so you know her views about life and the pursuit of happiness. Those dreams are gone. Right. Now all of a sudden, here's happy, joy. Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Happy, joy.
Happy, joy. Yep. That's what a 24-year-old is compared to someone in their 50s. Absolutely.
I've been called worse.
There's nothing wrong with happy, joy. All right. Nothing wrong with it at all. Especially this time of year.
Yeah, Trent let us know he loves Christmas. He's struggling with his first Florida Christmas with no snow on the ground.
It's very different. Very different.
A lot less decorations, too. And depending on the neighborhood, though. There are certain neighborhoods in, Southwest Florida and elsewhere that, are phenomenal.
But you don't have boat parades in Michigan. That's the one thing. There are a lot of little subtle things that we bring to Christmas.
Oh, don't
the boat parade with the lights on the boat is one of them.
Do not get me wrong. I'm not complaining. It's not a bad problem to have. It's just a different adjustment.
I was going to say.
There's no snow. I don't hear Christmas music everywhere down here. It's just a little different.
Just walk to the studio next door.
I was going to say.
It's Thanksgiving for crying out.
Walk down the hall and say hi to that lady again. All right. Hey, how you doing?
Well, see what she's got the look on her face. She's been playing Christmas music since Thanksgiving, for the love of God.
I haven't heard Silent Night in 12 minutes. Tell you what, though, Trent, you know what you need to do?
What?
What all of us who moved to Southwest Florida did our very first holiday. All right. You need to go stand in the Gulf of Mexico and call everybody and go, hey, Merry Christmas. What are you doing? Shoveling the driveway. What are you doing? I'm on the beach.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to be a rough one today. Boat parade last night. Yep. On the beach here.
That's the thing. It's quote unquote cold this week in Estero, but I am not acclimated to the weather down here yet. So it just feels like summer to me.
He's in the, I come in this morning, shoes, jeans, shirt, fleece. He's in shorts and a t-shirt looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, trust me, Trent, when my wife and we moved from Fargo to Southwest Florida. And so we were standing in the water when people were walking on the beach dressed like Mark, pants, long sleeve shirts, and what have you. We're in shorts and sandals and short sleeve shirts, calling everybody in Fargo going, how you doing? We're on the beach.
Like if you're a Cowboys fan today, you can make that call to an Eagles fan and just ask them, how you doing?
An Eagles fan, what you need to remember, if you win your last 3 games, you will win the NFC East. 5th tiebreaker, close, but you will win the NFC East.
And you own the Giants. So quit acting like you're not going to beat the Giants twice.
Although Jalen Hurts, after the game, threw some shade at his team. I'll tell you what, Jalen Hurts, look at his quotes after the game. It was as if Nick Saban stepped to the podium. We're not committed. We got guys who aren't fully committed. Where have we heard that before from a team that Jalen Hurts was on? It wasn't from Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma, I can tell you that. So
Pretty easy to get recommitted when it's the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants.
I was just going to say that's when you hold the team meeting. All right. When do you hold the team meeting? Oh, we got 5-9, 3-11, 5-9. All right. It's like in baseball. When do you hold the team meeting? The 4 hours before the ace is going on the bump. Yes, that's when you hold the team meeting.
Everything's going to be fine in Philadelphia, at least for the rest of the regular season. We'll find out how the playoffs go. Today was the day when the good, the bad, and the ugly. What's on tap? It's how we finish things off during the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What are the apps that we're on? ESPN Southwest Florida. What else?
iHeart. Who wants to know? Anybody important?
No.
Hmm.
I do need ad rates from you, though. Somebody wants to make a 10-day buy next month on our show.
Merry Christmas, KG. It's been a positive day for the Twitch chat room today.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Look at this picture, David, from the Key West Boat Parade. I don't know if you can figure out what that is. Do you see
Is
the?
that-
It's the
yeah.
fragile lamp.
It's the fragile lamp.
Off the mast of a. That's awesome. That is well done.
I'm bringing the lamp, and my mom got me a fragile sweater. I'm wearing it on Christmas.
Yeah, that's great.
That's the other thing you got to do soon. You got to figure out a way to get yourself to Key West for a weekend.
I would love to.
Get one of your brothers down here, take the Key West Express, or even just drive. It's better to drive.
Johnny Mac, no, I was not in a Nashville prison. That's a funny question, though. I lived right next to one.
Oh, I need a good crap. Oh, there you go. How about that?
Canada Relief all the time. Had a Tim Hortons less than a mile from my house growing up. So Tim Hortons, very familiar. I used to live on Timbits.
Our Timbits donut holes, basically.
Yeah. That is exactly what they are. I don't know why they have their own name.
Well,
Timbit. I will say, so I've been to 2 Lions-Bills games. One in Buffalo, one in Detroit on Thanksgiving. Bills fans are hilarious because a lot of them are Canadian and they have really heavy, thick Canadian accents. But the fan base is just out of control in the best way possible. It's not like a Philly or something like that. You know, like they're all fun. They're all positive. They're all. It was great.
except for the one that texted you, David. How is he doing, by the way? Is he off the ledge, McBain?
Oh, are you kidding?
They win in the Super Bowl now?
He's basically like, we're winning out. We're going to win the East, and we are going to destroy people. Yeah. And it's all because they fired Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, that is just. Ugh. That narrative is so funny.
God, if they lost to the Chargers this week, that would be poetic.
With a backup. Who are the Chargers starting? Oh, that Easton Stick. Easton Stick.
By the way, someone did point out yesterday in the Twitch chat room when we were talking about the 4 quarterbacks for the Vikings. 4 quarterbacks have won.
Welcome to the Bonus Hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. The final segment of Miller and Moulton in the Diamond District Bonus Hour today. Thanks so much for being with us. Seth Everett, Pat Kerwin on the show tomorrow. I know you're thinking, wait a minute. Pat's normally on Tuesdays. I don't know what to tell you. Storm, stuff going on. He needs to be Wednesdays. So 7 o'clock hour tomorrow, Pat Kerwin, Seth Everett, folks from Pro Football Network in the 8 o'clock hour tomorrow. There you have it.
So I got a question asked to me in the Twitch chat room of what I'm eating on Christmas since I'm not going to be in town. And it's a sore subject for me because the only thing I know that we're having for Christmas is ham.
Right.
And I think that the particular place we're getting ham from is an overrated Christmas experience.
Okay.
And I don't know what else we're having. But right now, all I know is that we're having a ham. And I don't really like ham. So no standing rib roast. I've already decided I'm making my rib roast probably New Year's Day. It'll be ready just in time for kickoff, and I'm going to have prime rib and want to be left alone for Alabama and Michigan.
Roll Tide.
Spoken like a true Michigan State Spartan. By the way, gut feeling, you think Harbaugh's staying or going?
Going.
Yeah, I think he's going too.
Just a matter of where.
He wants out. He tried to last year. He's just so unlikable in the meetings, and he doesn't get hired.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's what the reports were last year.
I don't understand, though, with the whole Vikings thing.
He had that job wrapped up. That's what they said.
But they treated it like an interview. If you're bringing him over, it's your job. You don't interview him. I'm on Harbaugh's side with that. If I'd have walked in and it was an interview, not a piece of paper saying we're going to work out the contract, I've been like, what the hell are you talking about?
But
why am I even here?
On the flip side, how bad did he mess that up? If that was the case, evidently.
Trent, if you're Jim Harbaugh, your track record in San Francisco, you went to 3 straight NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. I mean, if the Vikings call you and you're your alma mater in college and they're like, no, we really want to bring you in. I mean, Jim's thinking, well, if I get on the plane, the job's mine.
And it wasn't.
But this is what I'm saying. This is, I guess we agree in a way. I just think, like, that's all true.
But it wasn't his job. If it would have been his job, they'd have given it to him. When he got there, they interviewed him. It wasn't. It shouldn't have been an interview. He's like, how is this an interview?
Yeah, I thought you're hiring me as coach.
Answer the questions, and you're the coach.
Well, you know what I'm going to do. I've got a track record. You know what I'm going to do. I mean, I ran the same offense at San Diego, Stanford, San Francisco, and Michigan. I mean, you know what I'm going to do. My teams are going to be hard-nosed. They're going to punch you in the mouth. By the way, my shelf life is 4 to 5 years because I am difficult to work with. But you guys haven't been to a Super Bowl in 45 years. So if I go to 3 straight NFC title games in a Super Bowl, you could throw me on my butt in 4 years.
And I think he's gone, and I don't want him to be. I think Jim Harbaugh is great for college football. I think he belongs at Michigan for the rest of my lifetime. I would like to see him as the head coach of Michigan. And anybody who's listened knows my feelings towards Michigan. I want them to lose, but Harbaugh's perfect there, and he's winning there. And college football is better when Michigan's good.
It's great for the Big Ten.
It's great for college football.
It is. Fox certainly doesn't want him to go. If you're Michigan, by the way, if he leaves, do you have to give the job now to Sharon Moore?
Not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I think they would, whether or not they have to.
I mean, because obviously that's kind of a good gig.
Yeah.
And you know, you usually don't give a gig like that to somebody who's never been a head coach before, because no offense, being the fill-in guy for 6 games when the main guys are in practice all week.
And doing and running the recruiting and running everything else. I
mean, that's a big decision. I mean, the word is the guy at Washington would, climb over people to get the job. You saw what he did at Washington. He's been a head coach elsewhere. Just saying.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Here are all of the things that happened on David Moulton's birthday, plus a few that I'll probably forget. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens is published, 1843. Today in 1913, Jack Johnson fights Jim Johnson to a 10-round draw for the world heavyweight boxing title in Paris. It was the first time 2 black fighters had competed for the title. 1926, the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets win the NFL championship. Just wanted to get that out because the Giants would win it the next year. 1959, the first Liberty Bowl, and they had a good one, David. Penn State beats Alabama 7-0. I'm just wondering if Alabama claimed any sort of national title from that year.
I believe they had the title before kickoff.
1971, CBS airs Homecoming, A Christmas Story. It introduced us to the Waltons. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange, also released today in 1971. Did you ever see it?
Yes.
I never did.
He's weird.
He's really weird.
It's pretty good, but he's oof.
Nelson Rockefeller sworn in as vice president of the U.S. today in 74. Ron Wood joins the Stones in 75. Raging Bull was released today in 1980, as was 9 to 5. There are two movies on the opposite end of the spectrum right there.
A little bit.
Just a
little bit.
Today in 84, Scotty Bowman wins his 691st regular season game. It would be the most wins by any coach in NHL history. He'd only coach for what?
Well, phew. 8 more years as a
Right.
head coach, right? That was in Buffalo, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, he was the Sabres coach, and then he did Pittsburgh and Detroit after that.
That same day in 84, Gretzky became the youngest to score 1,000 points. He was 23 years old.
Oh, man.
Today in 86, Platoon was released. And in 1998, the U.S. House votes to impeach President Clinton over the Lewinsky scandal. Brezhnev, Montreal Canadian Doug Harvey, Detroit Lion, Bobby Lane, Al Kaline, Maurice White from Earth, Wind, and Fire, Reggie White, and Mean Gene Okerlund, all born today, David.
Reggie White's birthday was today?
Yeah.
Huh.
Robert Urich from Vegas is 77. That's only for David. I would have never even brought this up.
Heartthrob.
Kevin McHale, 66. Chris Angel is 56. Alyssa Milano and Warren Sapp are 51. And Mo Williams is 41. What did I miss, David?
Alyssa Milano, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. A few things. So, A Christmas Carol was published today, 180 years ago.
That's how we started this segment out.
I thought you started out in like 1600s.
No, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens is published.
We now know how much David pays attention to Mark.
Yes.
I always I always miss something early on because I'm always looking up the things that I think he's going to miss.
That was the very first thing he read. Was the
Right.
Christmas-
And so, but like I said, very early on in the list, I'm like, well, he's not going to get to this. Let's see what else we got. Washington led troops into Valley Forge today in 1777. Titanic debuted in theaters today in 1997. That was a monster. Which I have to admit I was surprised at. Because, well, we know the ending. You know, I mean, you know, I got to sit in theaters for nearly 3 hours.
3 hours.
I mean, this just in, the boat crashes, you know. A lot of people are going to die. Wait, a love story? Whatever. Did you do the NHL first ever season? Debuted today in 1917?
I did not.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Hey, did you know Christmas Carol was published on this day in 1843?
Minnie Payne probably knew. She's the good today. At 90 years old, she becomes the eldest University of North Texas student to complete her coursework when she earned her master's degree in interdisciplinary studies at the age of 90. Congratulations to you, Minnie. For the bad, we go to the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport, where Tyler Batter of Rhode Island decided that it would be a good idea when he was having trouble with the kiosk checking in his bag to say, call the cops, I have a bomb in my bag. They evacuated the entire airport to respond to his alleged bomb threat. You are an idiot. He's being held on $50,000 bond. I hope no one pays it.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Finally, the ugly. And our nomination for worst person on the planet. Man was arrested in Lehigh Acres for dumping a dog in the dumpster at the Family Dollar on Thursday. Fortunately, employees realized it was a dog and they took it to Blue Pearl Pet Hospital. The man told his family he was going to put the dog down and then dumped it in a dumpster.
Yeah.
The dog has received medical attention and is good condition. Lee County Domestic Animal Service has her up for adoption. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, December the 19th, David's birthday, 2023.
58. 58.
Who's the best 58 of all time? Athlete, jersey number.
That's a tough number right there.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of a linebacker that's 58 that sticks out in my head right now.
You know, I'm a Giants fan, Carl Banks.
Matt Milano.
Jack Lambert.
Was he 58?
Right? Jack Lambert was 58. Ham was 59.
Okay. That might be your winner.
Penei Sewell.
He just said Jack Lambert. I don't know if you were listening.
I'm sorry. Did you?
I'm you know,
really
the show.
Oh, for goodness sakes. So John Morant, I think, returns tonight. He served a 25-game suspension. The Grizzlies have played 25 games and they play tonight. So isn't John Morant playing tonight? I'm assuming that's why the game's on TNT at 7:30. The Grizz and the Pelicans. I mean, the Grizz are 6-19. The only reason we're televising this is because he's playing, right?
And by the way, Derek Thomas, your other 58. Jack Lambert, Derek Thomas, you can pick.
Yeah, Hall of Famers.
Wait, so David, so you're telling me that John Morant's suspension wasn't indefinite?
No, it was 25 games.
No, I know. I'm just,
No, we thought it should have been 40. Okay, we actually thought he, got off pretty easily. He's a changed person, just so you know. I mean, that storyline's already out there. Changed person. Just please. Could he do something first? Could he behave for a couple years before we maybe come to a conclusion? The 10 o'clock game, you might be interested in TNT. A little Celtics Warriors action. They played in the finals a couple years ago. College hoops tonight. It's not televised except on, I think, ESPN Plus, but a big one for FGCU at Georgia Southern. You don't want to lose to the 0-11 team. Just saying. Our buddy John Fanta, FS1, 8:30, Marquette and Providence. 7 o'clock, ESPN2, Virginia, Memphis. They're both ranked.
Lightning hosting the Blues tonight in the NHL. A bunch of games going on other than that as well.
And we don't have a bowl game, do we?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we've got the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. UTSA and Marshall, baby. Texas San Antonio laying 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
Taking UTSA.
I am too. I'm laying the points.
It
just means more to them.
In the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Unbelievable. Let's have another bowl game. All right. Pat Kerwin, Seth Everett tomorrow. See you then.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6. And